I'll call this. Seriously? I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up. I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
Objection.
I will fuck you up. KO. I will fuck you up. The
Bukaki.
The
Bukaki. Trooper Bukaki. Bukaki.
the
Bukaki.
the
Bukaki. Trooper Bukaki. Bukaki.
Welcome to the Weekend Live Show.
508 is where I'm from.
We run down the biggest stories of the week with you every Saturday night. Let us know in the comments right now where you reppin'.
Apache Junction, Taunton, Worcester, Long Island, Manchard, South Florida, Webster, Malden, Framingham, Tucson, Billerica, Salem, Gloucester, Moosop, Connecticut, Charleston, South Carolina, Roslindale, Moosop, Connecticut, London, Hanson, Glendale, Arizona, Lynn, Mapleville, Quincy.
Food stands, leave your clothes, buddy, and
Hey, you a funny ass guy, man.
Have you ever heard of Turtleboy? Yeah? Are you a fan?
508 is where I'm from.
Hey, what's up?
508 is where I'm from.
How was that?
You a freaking idiot. Stop telling people that I'm mentally deranged and stupid.
Call me Aidan. He's not a doctor, but
Get out of my store, please.
You're a fucking loser.
You are a loser.
You're not a journalist. You're nobody.
You're not turtle hair. Don't make such fun of the criminal justice system.
NFL on the house, blog that.
Let's get this party started.
And I will not be intimidated. I will not be silenced. And we will continue on our journey for justice for John O'Keefe and for Karen Reed.
Tick, tick, boom. Boys, go baby, we bringing out toys. Boys, chopper be singing, should be on the voice. Bang, bang, we gon' ride out. Gang, gang, we don't die out. Want it like this, ain't no timeouts. Tell me who really gon' find out. We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets.
Karen Reed has supporters who've shown up in large numbers.
Tick, tick, boom. Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wildin'. You must be blind by the diamonds. I didn't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this, so it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet. We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
This is the first time I think I've ever seen this. An outpouring of support for someone accused of murdering a Boston police officer. Unbelievable situation. Never seen anything like it.
Tick, tick, boom. You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. It's go, 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 go time. Tick, tick, boom.
Boom. What's up, turtle people? How's everyone doing out there tonight? Good? Good. Excellent. Welcome to the live show, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Aidan Kearney. I'm your fearless host here. You can call me Clarence Woods Emerson. That's what I go by on Facebook. You can follow me on there. You can call me Uncle Turtleboy, old school turtle riders, as you guys are known as, have been known to call me that. I prefer doctor, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. I feel like people have been calling me a doctor for the last couple of years, so it just kind of fits now. Nobody debates it. I'm a doctor because I got to say I'm a doctor. So, and it's my preferred pronoun. So thank you for respecting that. Also acceptable is daddy. I will continue to allow that as long as it feels necessary until it gets too weird. I understand that could be a little, weird for some people to call another grown man daddy. But I'm not going to yell at you if you don't. If you do rather. I mean, if you don't, no big deal. Okay. If you do, also no big deal. I don't care what you call me. Just be here every Tuesday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. sharp. And make sure you smash that subscribe button for me. And we'll have a great time. All right. And give us a big thumbs up afterwards. That helps with the algorithms as well. Okay, cool. If anybody wants to have their messages read tonight, you can click at the link at the top for something called Turtle Chat. You can click on that. You get to write a message, and you can donate as much money as you want, and I will read your message out loud to the class. Or conversely, if you prefer, you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtleboy, $ Uncle Turtleboy, and we can do it that way. So let me just refresh here, see where we're at. Okay, we got DW starting us off right. He says, all I want for Christmas, he donates $25. It says, or she. I don't know if DW is a he or a she, but it doesn't really matter these days anyway. All I want for Christmas is a McAlbert cuffed conga line into federal court. Is that too much to ask? And Krusty in jail would be nice too. So let's address that. I think about it a lot. Like I said, I get, the trolls love it when I say this stuff, but I'm not kidding. Like, I get physically aroused at the thought of those scumbags going to jail, like physically aroused. The thought of Jen McCabe spending a decade or so in prison just gets me hard. I can't help it. And if and when they are arrested, I said it before, I'll say it again, I'm going to come in my pants. That is on spot. And I'm sorry if that's TMI. I'm sorry, but I am. I'm literally going to come in my pants if that day comes. Because, the longer it's like, when you go a long time before, when you go a long time in between, it builds up, and it's been a long time. It's been 18, 19 months into this thing, I'm like, I thought this would all be over in a couple of weeks. We're going on a year and a half or so now. And it's like, I know it's going to happen. Something's going to happen. I don't know when, but when it does happen, I'm going to come in my pants. How could I not? It's going to be the greatest day ever. I'm just saying. Okay. So yeah, it is what it is. I get excited thinking about it, and just remember, somebody, they're not wasting their time with this shit, dude. They're not. Just remember that. They're not and it's not over. That I know is a fact. It's not over. And another thing I thought of today too, it's like, okay, everybody always criticizes the DOJ of being political. Like during the Trump era, people always criticize them for going after right wingers and stuff like that. Well, who controls the DOJ in 2 months? Donald Trump does, right? And I think Josh Levy's doing a fine job. Josh Levy is a Biden appointee, and I think he's doing a fine job, and he would continue to do a fine job if Trump leaves him on as United States Attorney for Massachusetts. But if not, if he's replaced with somebody like Andrew Lelling, right, there will be no drop off. I'm not even the least bit worried about that. If anything, they're going to kick it up a notch, I think, because then it's political. Like Michael Morrissey is a Democrat. Don't forget that. Beverly Canoni was appointed by a Democrat. This is Massachusetts. And the federal government would love a shot at sticking it to people like hacks like Michael Morrissey and Beverly Canoni. And, Andrew Lelling, when he was the U.S. attorney when Trump was president, he went after Jason Correa. He had some pretty big fish. He went after some big political corruption when he was the U.S. attorney here. So, I'm very satisfied with the Biden appointed U.S. attorney, what's his name? Levy. Things doing fine, but I'm not the least bit worried about a change in administrations here. I think they'll be fine. So it's going to happen, man. Just, they're not going to let a cop get killed. And I was thinking about this today too, in the second trial, how differently things are going to be, because this whole Bytes and bits thing that we're going to get into. But they want us to believe that Karen Reed killed this guy, John O'Keefe, a cop. And she decided the best place to kill this guy would not only be in front of one cop's house, but in front of two cops' houses, because Tom Kelleher lived directly across the street. And that's where she allegedly started off her rampage, 62 feet, in reaching 24 miles an hour in just 62 feet. She was directly across the street. And neither of these experienced, promoted cops saw or heard anything. Like, who would have thought that that's the safest place in America to murder someone? It really is. Like, if you want to murder someone, do it in front of Brian Albert's house. He'll sleep through the whole fucking thing. Like, no problem. He will and if he's having guests over at that time and they all leave, no one's gonna notice shit. Because they're not looking. They're talking about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Don't you know? Now, somebody might see a black blob, like a 6-footer, but it's not going to be enough for them to be like, wait, what's that big black blob? Like, hold on. What? And they're not going to speak to the cops for at least, 9-10 months after that anyway. So it doesn't really matter. And, oh yeah, like, the more I think about it, like, I'm quite certain, I was thinking today about what Colin did. Because Colin did it. Okay. And that's just a fact. Well, actually, it's an opinion, I guess. But Colin most definitely was involved. I think whatever it was fucking big, whatever that kid did. Because they are trying so hard to keep him out of it when they didn't even have to. There's no reason to keep Colin out of this. They could just say that, oh yeah, he was there. Just like Brian Higgins was there. Just like Sarah Levinson was there. They were all there. Right? So why do they so badly want to tell us that Colin Albert wasn't there? And they have no evidence of that whatsoever. And he called Aaron Beatty at 12:33. Have they explained that one? Has anyone from Team Douchebag explained why Colin Albert called Aaron Beatty at 12:33, or why Chris Albert later went to him and tried to get him to change his story, tried to get Tom Beatty to change his daughter's story? Does anyone know why he did that? Has that been explained? Why did he just call this girl? People like that of that age never call each other, like, on the phone. They text, they FaceTime, whatever. Okay. He's just a lying piece of shit. So anyway, it's going to happen, man. Do not lose the faith. When it happens, it will happen. Karen Reed is not going to be found guilty by anyone. The last trial was the closest they will come. They will never come that close again. It is a miracle. Now that they know, now they know what to avoid. Now they know what to focus on, right? Let's do it all over again. Whatever. It sucks. It's time consuming, whatever. And they learned how to pick a better jury. No more engineers that think they're smarter than the ARCA guys. Like, that can't happen anymore. No more cops. Even retired cops, former cops, no cops. Get nurses on there. Get as many nurses on there as you can, right? All nurses, because the nurse in this jury was one of the strongest ones. I'd love to have her on here if she ever wants to come on. She's probably the youngest person on the jury. All right. I do have a name of another juror. Remember the one who was crying? I told you guys juror number 7 was crying. I've had her name for like a month, and I'm not going to say it or anything like that. But she's obviously, I look her up, and she's got a good job and shit like that. And but it's not in. I'm not even going to say what field she works in. But I looked this up. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? She was the one that was crying every day, like when they brought him in there. And I thought she was the one holdout, but as we've seen since, there was a disagreement in there. It was 6-6. Let's keep it real. It was 6-6 until the Tui Rodriguez came around, and then 2 or 3 of the weaker willed people were like, okay, sure, whatever, compromise. Because the strong personality people, the people who Plevin has been harassing, that woman, she wasn't in. She's told me too. She's like, if I was on that jury, in that jury box, I wouldn't have just been raise my hand for not guilty every time. I would have been explaining my case. I would have been emphatic about Karen being, not guilty. So anyway, they need more people like that on the jury. I think they'll do fine next time around. And I feel so much more emboldened after this latest fuck up that we're going to talk about tonight with the whole Bytes and Bits thing. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, Hank Brennan, the real mystery of all this, the only thing I haven't solved is why Hank Brennan is doing this. I don't know this. I don't know the answer to that. Because there's no way he's doing this out of the goodness of his own heart. Like, he's not like just, oh yeah, this felt like lynching Karen Reed. I'm really excited about this for justice. This is a good thing. No fucking way. The fact that the other was it Greg Connor, the other ADA who was like voted prosecutor of the year or something too. He did the Chestnut trial. He did the Walsh. He's doing the Walsh trial. The fact that they can't put him on it and he's refusing to really speaks volumes. Also, some big news that I can't really get into, unfortunately, but there was great news today on the documentary front. Great news. Okay. It's not going well. Like I've been pretty upfront about this. We got 2 options here. So I've signed with a company called Compelling Pictures. And, you can do these docs one of 2 ways. You can either, you can pitch the idea. So the first company I was with, they didn't invest any of their own money. They were veteran producers who have done a lot of major documentaries, won awards and stuff like that. And they went and they pitched it, right? But they weren't very good salesmen. Like, let's just put it that way, I guess, because they didn't sell it very well because they didn't get sold. And they also didn't invest their own money. So they spent no money. Like, so they didn't come out here, they didn't film or anything like that. And these companies like Netflix likes it when these documentarians invest their own money. So the people that Karen signed with, she's probably spent, I'd guess, I mean, she was there every day of the trial with her whole crew. It's probably like $1 million, right? At least invested in that of her own money. And she hasn't been signed by anyone. So like, you're taking a gamble. So the guy I'm with now is like, so you need somebody who's confident that it's going to get picked up by a streaming service. And the guy I'm with is extremely confident. He's done a lot of major documentaries and movies. And, he's got the rights to me to make the Hollywood movie into this. And that's going to come after the documentary and blah, blah, blah. But, it's this documentary is all about signing exclusivity to people that you need to do it. Right. And without naming names, right, there's a lot of people that this documentary would suck without, starting with me. Right. And he's got exclusive rights to me. He's got exclusive rights to Microdots Richie and all of Richie's videos, which is huge, huge. And there's other people involved in this who are only agreeing to work with him. And he's been in touch with Sandpaper and we're in talks with them, but we've made it very clear we're not doing a McAlbert documentary. Like his name is Jeff Caligari, and Jeff is like all in on Karen Reed is innocent. And he will not waver on this. He will not participate. He won't do a doc in which he does not have creative control. He needs, he's like, we're not letting what happened with Phelps. Like, that is not going to happen. Like, we are only going to do a documentary that is pro Karen Reed. So for that reason, like, he's been in touch with Sandpaper, and we're being very clear with, like, we have things that they want, like Turtleboy. And Sandpaper has been emailing me all the time to be on there. I tell them, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm signing with somebody else. So we have other people too that we've signed that they want, that they can't get. Okay. Major players in the story that they can't get, that will not do interviews with them And so we've got Sandpaper kind of by the balls, because what are they going to do? How are they going to do a documentary? Like their plan right now, they just have them. Gretchen Voss is a producer in it. Gretchen fucking Voss. And, you know, what's going to be one of our things is she's got to, like, no, not going to happen. So we want to bring on, like, I think, you know, who would be a great producer for this, or a great narrator for this, or somebody like that? Like, how about the Vanity Fair lady, Julie Miller? Get her on there. She's much better than Gretchen at her job. Knows the case a lot more than Gretchen does. So all Gretchen brought to them was the McAlberts. And so, you know, Jen McCabe has done interviews with this. I'm told Brian Albert has. And you know, their softball interviews. You know that. You know they're not going to. And so nobody wants to see that. And so Sandpaper realizes they're kind of fucked. So we got them by the balls. And they want to work with us. So we're negotiating that right now, but we will not do anything in which we do not have complete creative control over the content. We will not do or participate in a documentary that is some bullshit like Phelps. Like, that's not going to happen, period. And he's perfectly content with this as well. If this doesn't go the way we want, then we will do our own documentary. We're doing it either way, and he's willing to invest his own money into it. And we have, you know, he's got tons of connections with Netflix. He's done documentaries with them before. And so we're gonna do a doc either way. The question is, will there just be one in which we partner with Sandpaper, or will there be competing documentaries, in one that has Turtleboy and one that doesn't? Because that's kind of what happened with the Scott Peterson documentaries over the summer. Like, they came out a couple weeks apart, and one had Scott Peterson and one didn't. And which one do you think probably did better? You know? Anyway, so that's my rant about that. Let me refresh the donos here. Brittany sends $10 and goes, "Are you waiting for court to fully expose LG? The false rape claims need to end." You know, the false rape claims are just online. Like, they're not in any court of law or anything like that. Obviously, I didn't rape anyone. We've proven that. It's fucking ridiculous. If they really want to go there with that, the text messages we have, oh boy, they don't want to go there. Like, they do not want to go there. So, yeah, I mean, and maybe we're suing too. We'll see. But, you know, I have thought about I've never written about it. I never wrote the whole story. I've done, you know, we've had the Bederow Letters, and we've referenced a lot of things, but, you know, a Turtleboy, like 5-part bang, bang, wang, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, detailing the whole thing might be a good thing to have. So we'll see. But we also have all the other court shit, you know, with her, with the McAlberts, all this stuff. But, you know, what have they done? They've done nothing. Like, ever since they arrested me, they've done nothing. They haven't added, at least in the Karen Reed case, they keep adding shit. They keep adding, you know, Barry Stevens is there. I think this is another one I'm accused of being too. So I guess I'm typing away. It must be Barry Stevens, right? Yeah. Anyway, what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah. So I got all do your community service, KP. Oh yeah. That's the other thing I wanted to address about that. So Krusty is, if you guys didn't hear this already, I think I announced this on Tuesday. West Roxbury District Court called me. She's being charged with 2 more crimes in Leominster District Court. She has a hearing on November 25th for violating the order with me. Okay. So there's that. So that's interesting. But she also, then she has West Roxbury probation called me the other day, and they are bringing her back in on November 18th to answer for this. So she's been charged with a criminal complaint has been filed. There is no charge yet. Right. But every time one of these gets filed, she always ends up getting charged. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Krusty about that. Okay. And Aussie Insider, I definitely want to come on your show sometime soon. I'd like to talk to you. Sorry, I've been so busy. Also, yes, keep me updated on Notre Dame and Alabama games going on right now. Fuck LSU, because fuck Brian Kelly. That's what I think about that. Yeah, and this also, a lot of people have asked me about this too, about Sean going on the Krusty show, you know. And of course, I watched Will. I did what Will did. I watched him talk about his analysis of it, and I agreed with him completely. You know, the things that he was saying, and I've thought about, like, I'm like, should I do a breakdown of this too? But I just don't want to give her attention, you know, or him for that matter. They both just crave attention. And even though, you know, it would be fun to break it all down and just whatever, but it's kind of what they want. You know, they're just attention whores. And, you know, it's like, all I got to say, so my big takeaway from that whole thing when I watched it was Sean doesn't even know the story at all. Like, he doesn't know anything about the Karen Reed case. Nothing. He knows nothing about the Karen Reed case. Nothing. Like when he actually debated with Krusty Panties, he didn't know. Like, there was so much shit he conceded. He just didn't fucking know. He didn't know how to argue back. He didn't know the case, because all he does is rant about it in riddles about the feds and this and that, and like, oh, sources and Five Guys and this and that. And there's that, you know? So I'm like, that's why she had him on, was because she wanted somebody on there that, you know, whatever. So again, and with the people with enough about Sean, please ban her. Get her the fuck out of here. Get Deidre Sargent the fuck out of my face with this false equivalency bullshit. There will be none of that. There will be no pretending that this is some back and forth, because it's not. I've been on here for 26 minutes. I mentioned it briefly. Now that's it. Okay. I don't do entire streams on it. I don't sit around tweeting about it all day. He does do that about me. So this is not the same thing. And the enough about, unless you're going over there, Deirdre, and saying, shut the fuck up. If you did that, you'd be banned. Of course, he would just ban you from the group. Right. So this is not, there will be none of that here. That this whole, oh, you guys need to stop going back and forth, because we're not. That is a completely false version of events. That is not what is happening here. There is no back and forth at all. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So anyway, what else was I saying? All right, cool. Lori sends $10 and says, holy fucktard, I saw KP for the first time with Sean. All right, I guess we are talking about this. She is a lost psycho, and Sean has lost his freaking mind. She has some alien in the middle looking like an ass. And what the fuck is Sean spewing about? Fuck. Someone gonna shut him the fuck up. Yeah, I don't know what that person in the middle was. What was it? Boomer? Is that what they called him? Who's he? I don't even know who that guy is. Not familiar. I don't really follow Krusty's work. So I'm not really sure who that guy is or why he was on there at all. But you know, I assume he just believes whatever, you know, says whatever she says, because that's what happens in an actual cult, is they all just say whatever the leader says. Coincidentally, you know, all the people over there who blindly followed her over the years all blindly follow the fact that they now believe that Karen Reed is actually guilty. Anyway, yeah, so when I was watching that, when he says she's a lost psycho, of course, and Sean has lost his freaking mind. But the thing about it is, he hasn't lost his mind. For those like me who have been paying attention for a while now, this is who he always was. He's just an attention seeker, man. It's not, he hasn't lost his mind. He's always been this way. Like, I have clips of him. Like, what was it? When I first got out of jail, he's like, are they in your phones? I can't talk to you. You might have been compromised. They might have flipped you. Like, that's crazy shit. That's crazy talk. Five Guys, Eddie Richards, that's crazy shit. It's crazy. I've known this for a while, and to my credit, I've shut up about it. I haven't talked about it. I didn't post about it, because it's like telling people Santa's not real. Like, people liked him, and I recognized that from the beginning. So if I'm like, you know, this guy's kind of full of shit, everyone would be like, what? Why are you saying that, Turtleboy? What? I like him, you know. So I wasn't going to do that. But now he's putting it on, he's doing it to himself. So yeah, I can comment on it now. Like it's happening out there. I mean, posting the screenshot of a message Karen Reed sent him on Signal was the lowest thing he's done so far. I mean, that was so low. That and just, going on Krusty's channel. I mean, after everything she's done, tell the Eddie Richards story. I did tell it. I told it on the Glare, but I'll tell it again. Okay. So back in, when was it? And I've thought about writing a story on this because it would be a funny story, but yeah, we'll see. Back in what was it? So when I first met Sean, it was like June of or July of 2023, right? He made a post on the Justice Group saying, I'm a former DEA agent. It was like it was a letter to Brian Albert, like an open letter. One of those things like, Dear Brian, as a former cop from Canton, why didn't you come out of the house? Blah, blah, blah. It was a good letter, right? I look back at that now and I'm like, oh, it was really just attention seeking when you think about it. But anyway, it got my attention. And because he's former DEA and law enforcement, I was looking for anyone in law enforcement who wanted to come on and, wasn't afraid to speak out about it. And so he came on and we had a good interview and that was it. I don't really have guests on my show very often. So, it's not like I had anything against them. I didn't have them back on anytime because I don't really do repeat guests or anything like that. And I think he took it a little personally. Okay. And then he started, doing the rounds, going on other shows and whatnot, and which is great, and building his profile kind of. And then he was one of the admins in this other Facebook group, the Justice for John and Karen Facebook group. And under his leadership over there, he didn't allow advertising. All right. He didn't allow any advertising, not advertising. I'm sorry. Like sharing of fundraising, and they didn't allow it. And so that is why, like the Nick Roccos of the world, that's their thing is fundraising. Right. So, spinning the wheel and fit raffles and well, we're not going to call them raffles and selling shit. Okay. That's what they do. Popcorn, blah, blah, blah. And that's great because that's really necessary, that stuff, because this shit's expensive. We all read the Vanity Fair article. How many $1 million does this cost Karen Reed to fight this shit? Like crazy shit. So she needs money. And, I got bills to pay too. I had a lot of fucking legal fees myself, but nothing compared to that. But yeah, so that it was really necessary and he wouldn't allow it. And I'm like, okay. So we just started our own group and we're like, Sean, you should come over with us. And he's like, no, I had a conversation with him about it. And he's like, can't do it. My guys won't let me. I'm like, your guys, my team, your team. You have a team. I thought you were retired. What do you mean your team? Oh yeah. I've been working with 5 guys and, they won't let me. I'm like, what? They won't let you. I don't understand. So you have 5 guys you're working with on your team and you guys are solving this case. They said they were going to flip. That was their big thing. They're going to flip Canton cops and get Canton cops to come out and they were going to solve this themselves. Okay. That's what he said. He had a team of 5 guys. And so I'm like, okay, who were the 5 guys? And he goes, well, I don't know. I can't tell you. Top secret. Okay. Well, they're all former law enforcement, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But they won't let you join. He's like, I can't join this new Facebook group with the Roccos and you because the 5 guys won't let me. I'm like, what do you mean they won't let you? You're a grown man. He goes, Aidan, if I go to that page right there, I'm telling you right now, they're done. The 5 guys are not going to do it anymore. They're out. They're going to abandon me. I'm like, Sean, you expect me to believe that there's 5 guys out there, grown men, who will abandon you and not get justice for John O'Keefe because you joined a Facebook group that they don't like because they don't like the Roccos? What? That makes no sense at all. Right. And so that's when Eddie Richards appeared because I'm like, I don't think there's 5 guys. I had talked to him on the phone. I'm like, Sean, I don't think that. And the reason we wanted one Facebook group, and this is how I knew about his intentions. The reason that we wanted one Facebook group was simple, right? I'd been, communicating with Karen's team and they're trying to soak up as much information as possible. and they really pay attention to everything that's online. Like they're always looking for clues, always looking for shit that you never know what you can find online. And they said just like with all these groups, it's just hard to keep track. And I go, Sean, it would be easier for Karen's team, right? If we had one centralized group and for everyone. So that way we can have one centralized group where all the information is, and it'll be great. I'll be there. We'll fundraise. Everyone goes there. It's so much better. Why don't you just come over here? Because you have a little following now. So why don't you just come over here? And he's like, I can't do it. And it's like, and that's when I realized he didn't give a shit about Karen Reed. Because her defense team would find it much easier if we were all in one group. And he just didn't care. Like, that's how I knew he just didn't give a fuck about Karen Reed. Because he just didn't care about that. And I'm like, okay. Because he was king shit in the other group. He was king. I'm the most popular guy. He loves it. Like if you go over there, like a post today that I saw in his group going through the motions, it's like a picture of him and it just says, our big bear. Love you, Sean. Like it's like a god over there and he loves it, And so this is I message. I'm like, I go, I don't think there's 5 guys, Sean. And then all of a sudden, a guy named Eddie Richards starts appearing on the page. And like, I'm one of the 5 guys, Eddie Richards says. And we're working on this together. Like, we're solving the case. And so I'm like, what? I'll just, let me search for it right now. I got this in my phone. Hold on. Eddie Richards. Okay. All right. So Eddie Richards says this. Tell me who this sounds like. Because a guy named Ricky Waters said, I don't think this team sounds real. And then Eddie Richards goes on there and goes, hey, pal, I'm on his team. The ones who are fake. Yeah, I'm the one. That portion about the team not allowing it is not accurate. What he really said is if I go, they're saying that Sean, what Sean really said is if I go, my team isn't, and I'll be good to nobody if my team doesn't come with me. Okay. Because that is what Sean told me. I'm no good to you without my team. My team's going to leave me, the 5 guys. And he goes, and then Eddie Richards says, don't trust everything you read. I spoke to Sean at length today. He has been working diligently on this. Doing what? Okay. Working diligently on this with our group of cops. And we have no interest in the other Facebook group, especially after what we witnessed in the comments last night. So Eddie Richards is a very serious former cop trying to solve who killed John O'Keefe. And he's like, oh, there's Facebook comments in that group I don't like. Well, I'm not going there. Okay. He goes, if Sean goes to that group, we are done with him. This is what Eddie Richards posts. Like, what? Okay. And then he goes, this is exactly the drama we don't want. Let the guy have his opinion. Why the need? Okay. And so he says that. And so then I message Eddie Richards on Facebook. I got my message with him here. And they said, hey, Eddie, are you former police? And he goes, yes. I go, what town? He goes, Bronx, New York. I go, okay. That's it. Now, Sean has since said that, he was so offended when I'm like, I don't think Eddie Richards is real. I think it's you, Sean. I think you're Eddie Richards. I do. And he's like, he did this whole rant the other night. Eddie is totally real. I did undercover work with him and this and that. And like, what, undercover work? So I've looked, if anyone can find the New York police database, I found a database of current cops. I don't know if anyone can find like former cops. because the Bronx is in New York City. So that would be NYPD. So if anyone can find me any trace of this Eddie Richards fella, like this former cop, I'd love to find him. I'd love to have a conversation with Eddie Richards because I would hope he's real. I mean, if that's not real, then you start wondering what else isn't real. Like, are the Jungles of Peru story real? I mean, there's a lot of stories about the jungles of Peru I've heard. And I'm like, Did you really go to the jungles? I'm not saying you didn't. Did you really though? I don't know. I don't know what's real. If Eddie Richards ain't real, Bronx PD. I mean, it's New York PD, right? Because Bronx is part. That would be NYPD, correct? If there's a cop in the Bronx. So this another one that let's see. All right. So he goes. This is a message that he sent. Okay, to somebody else that Sean sent. Okay, said. Eddie is my right-hand man. I've known him for 15 years before I left Boston, and we worked undercover many, many years. He's not a new guy. He's crucial to my team, not just on the admin side, but for getting to the corruption. I don't care about raffles or sales. I'm worried about the corruption. So, and that kind of sums it up right there. He's not worried about raffles or sales. He's worried about corruption because the raffles and sales is how we get free Karen Reed. That's how, without that, there's nothing. There's no movement. There's no money. There's no defense. There's no experts. There's nothing. Like, that's what we need. But that's why he's not interested in this. That's why he doesn't help raise money. That's why he wouldn't take part in a Facebook group that raised money, because he doesn't give a fuck about helping Karen Reed. He cares about, like, I'm going to be the guy. Me and my 5 guys, we're going to figure this one out together. Yeah, we're going to solve this one together. Me and the 5 guys. We don't have time for raffles. We don't have time for that. But anyway, that's that. Back to the donuts. Danielle sends $25 and goes, oh, snap. Not sure if anyone here has noticed, but recently the YouTube channel Voices for Justice with Danielle discovered a huge break in the Micah Francis John Paul Miller case. That's the guy who probably murdered his wife in South Carolina, right? The creator just graduated with her master's degree in social work with a 4.0 GPA. Definitely check out her channel and subscribe for more breaking news. Okay, Voices for Justice with Danielle. Thank you. Sounds like a promo, but you paid, so you get to have me read that. Thank you. Lori Jean sends $10 and goes, hey, fucktards, I listened to KP and Sean today. She is one fucked up psycho, and Sean has completely lost it. But KP is a dipshit attention seeker with no freaking friends, but an alien in the middle. Yeah, what was that? Like, even having that guy there, like, yeah, so like Sean, so like Sean, okay, so suppose you say the conspiracy isn't like whatever, like you're like saying like conspiracy is real, whatever. Okay, I'll just like for argument's sake, I'll just say that like let's just say there's like a conspiracy, okay? But like if there actually was a conspiracy, Sean, like why would they do that? Like why would they do that? Did you ever think about that? Like, man, did you? And then Sean would, instead of just having like, that's a slam dunk thing, he's like, oh yeah, you guys are making some good points. There was just so much conceding that, yeah, you guys are on. Yeah, I can kind of see where you're going. The worst is when he said the justice for John O'Keefe. I'm so sick of people rationalizing this. Go back and play the tape. He said that he was asked by Krusty, what happens if there's a guilty verdict for Karen Reed? He said, well, that's justice for John O'Keefe then. That's justice for John O'Keefe. He didn't say, like for the family, or he said, that's justice for John O'Keefe. And that's it. To be very clear about this, a guilty verdict for Karen Reed is not justice for John O'Keefe. It's injustice for both Karen Reed and for John O'Keefe. If anybody has the clip of that or the timestamp, I'll play that one part. Just so we're very clear about that. If anyone can send me that. Yeah, exactly. Lawyer, needs more info, but it doesn't look good for the DA. I DM'd him today, but we got to get him the Bederow Letters. But yeah, if anybody wants to DM me that, I mean, that was the one unforgivable part. That's like anything else. It was just a lot of conceding. It was like a lot of like just going along to get along with this horrible, disgusting person, like who says the most vile shit and has done it to so many people. And the things she said about Karen Reed, to go on there and play nice, with the person like that, and all because you're mad at me. Like that's why didn't he go on before? What was ever stopping him from doing a stream with her for the last year and a half? No, he waited till he had a public spat with me. And then he decided to go on there. That's it. And yeah, he started off with an apology. One of the first questions she asked him was, what about this person who was yelling at Brian Albert in the food court? You guys see that video? We got to watch this video. God bless this woman. God. Wait, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that. Am I allowed to like say I like this? Because that gets me in trouble when I say I like things. Like, I'm not even telling this person to do this, encouraging them. I just liked this video. I enjoyed it. That was me and Carl. There's all my election shit. It's right before the election stuff. Yeah, someone said that Eddie Richards just created a Twitter account too. I think to prove he's real. He started following me too. Oh my God, Eddie Richards did just follow me. Holy shit. Okay, oh, here's the video. Watch this shit. This is awesome. You guys seen this?
Welcome to Longwood Galleria. Let's get justice for John O'Keefe. We got Brian Albert sitting in the front. Woo! Shout out to you. Cop killer. Cop killer. Welcome to Longwood Galleria. Let's get justice for John O'Keefe. We got Brian Albert sitting in the front. Woo! Shout out to you. Cop killer. Cop killer.
Cup killer. Yeah. So one of the first questions that was brought up by Krusty was, what actually, fuck it. Let's just play part of it. Fuck it. Everybody wants to talk about it. So let's just fucking play part of it. Hold on. Okay. Give me 1 sec. I'll pull it up right now. Everybody wants me to do it, so I'm going to fucking do it. I don't care. Uh, 135. Somebody said, okay. So they, first of all, that whole video right here, that whole exchange, I got to be careful with the way I word this. Because what I used to say, what got me in trouble before, was what I said, like, yeah, you guys are going to have your head on a swivel when you go out. People are, turtle riders are everywhere, whatever. But, like, they're like, God, you're encouraging this. I'm like, I'm just telling you what happens. Like, the fact of the matter is that a sizable amount of the public believes that Brian Albert was involved in murdering John O'Keefe. A very big part of the population believes that. He hasn't been charged with that. He hasn't been arrested because he hasn't been investigated for it all. Right. And so, but we all, I believe that. I certainly believe that Brian Albert was involved in the murder of John O'Keefe. Certainly. 100% sure of it. Okay. Never been so sure of anything in my life. And he just walks around like nothing happened. And when that happens, people are going to get upset. People are going to say, that's not right. That motherfucker killed the guy. He killed the cop. You killed someone. Like, that's how people are going to react. So I see this reaction from this woman, and I see a very natural reaction, a perfectly natural and understandable reaction. Like, who wouldn't? Like, how could, I'm not saying I would do it because I can't, because I'm on bail, but like, I understand why other people feel the need to do something like that, because when you see somebody like that and you're like, oh, but this motherfucker's involved in a murder and he's just eating here right now, what? And so, yeah, they're all upset about that, whatever. And so that's one of the first things that Krusty asked this dude about. So I guess, fuck it, we'll play a couple minutes of it. Why not? All right.
And have a beer with this guy or had a coffee. He's not my guy. Do I give him credit for some things? Okay. But the thing is this, I ain't talking to him. And then I didn't text him. Then I blocked him. And then I had this foolish YouTube thing. And that guy said, he's in the chat. He's fucking blowing you up. He's doing this. I said, let that go. Then another thing, I let that go. And then I'm with this poor kid, Eldon. And I had another meltdown, right? I said, what the Christ you want with me, right?
Yeah.
It's about the
Oh my
so
God!
you released some signal messages, I think, right? And I think it was more to prove that yes, you did actually talk to Karen Reed, which I think is, for this whole thing, everybody else's personal information and like, sort of like the truth is the truth, right? And I think there's like sort of the public face of like what Free Karen Reed is doing. And then there's a lot of stuff you got to remember, for the first almost year, Karen Reed and Aidan Kearney were both lying about talking to each other until it came out to the point where they had to admit it, right? So like when she says that he's become a liability, that's language that, what do you think that means?
Well, I mean, come on. So the way I see it was, I'm trying to think now, because there was a reason why in March of 2024, because listen, I was out in the curb big time. I was big time out in the curb until I was needed. I
needed by who? Literally, no one needed you, Sean.
To give a lead. Call that one lead. And when I didn't make it known, why didn't you call my attorneys? Listen, I got it all. Is this a cleansing situation? No. What it was when I did the crazy Sean meltdown. Right? And listen.
Okay.
We really have to do this again. I'm cramping my leg. I said, go back.
Figure, right? Like most people know who Sean the Golf is. But just in case anybody doesn't, right? You were DEA for how much?
I want to comment before I go in for the kill. Is that what you want me to do?
Yes, CSI. And what year was that approximately?
That was went over to Arlington.
I can't. The sound of her voice is just, I don't know.
I wasn't even born yet, Sean. 86.
Oh my God.
Oh, come on. You got to drop that in there.
9 years. 9. Think about this. They protected that crime scene. Jeffrey McDowell killed his wife. They found his wife because he.
And I mean, I think to like when they find bodies in the woods, right? That like honestly, as far as the crime scene goes in Karen Reed, I don't think it's that unusual.
The table
goes to jail, and you have a suspect.
And that's one of my issues. Like at a round table. Yeah.
This guy.
Case of like cheaper to keep her, like
All right. Anyway, I'll find it. I remind me to find the part about when she asks. If anybody can find the timestamp on here of when she asks him about Brian Albert, that video, I want to play that. So I'm told this is the 135 part.
Some sloppiness in the investigation, definitely some deficiencies, but I still haven't seen from anyone, not just anybody, any actual evidence that anybody that is not named Karen Reed actually killed this guy. And, I just don't feel comfortable with what's happened to these people with that gigantic lack of evidence, right?
What? Yes. He's like, yep. What? Wait, what? Listen to that. Hold on.
Anybody that is not named. Some questions, some hypotheticals, maybe some sloppiness in the investigation, definitely some deficiencies, but I still haven't seen from anyone, not just anybody, any actual evidence that anybody that is not named Karen Reed actually killed this guy. And, I just don't feel comfortable with.
I have not seen any evidence that someone not named Karen Reed killed this guy. Your turn, Sean. Your turn. This is your chance to say no evidence that anyone beside. Have you seen the how about the bite marks on his arm? How about that? How about the fact that he clearly looks like he just got the shit kicked out of him? How about the fact that he couldn't have been hit by a car according to the ARCA experts? Therefore, someone else had to have done it who wasn't named Karen Reed. How about that, Sean? Are you going to say any of that? No, he doesn't mention any of this because he doesn't know the case at all. I swear to God, he doesn't know this case.
What's happened to these people with that gigantic lack of evidence, right? But
Right.
I just wanted to ask, and you guys paused. I never heard about a blizzard party, but I'll give you the tape. One other thing, coming back to the trial. Right.
And then he went off on this rant about a blizzard party. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? A blizzard party? Like, bro, you had a chance. This is what I mean. They brought on a guy who doesn't know anything about the case because they knew he was going to rant and rave about blizzard parties or God knows fucking what else. And that's and Aidan and Turtleboy. That's what they really wanted. Just a guy to rant about that who doesn't know the case at all.
I got a call on Thursday night from a source I cannot give, right?
Yeah.
And it was this.
So can someone give me the timestamp, please? Somebody send me the timestamp, and this is clearly not the right timestamp when he says the thing about the O'Keefe's about justice for John. That's what I wanted. I wanted the justice for John one, and I wanted the question about Brian Albert. That's all I want. If anyone can find that timestamp for me. Usually the inbox is blown up by now. I've heard from no one about this. Someone could find this for me, right? We got a whole bunch of people watching right now. Let's figure this out. I don't want to watch this shit all night. Want to get to the other shit. Someone said 2506. Okay, let me try that.
Man's friend and father. If I'm wrong, then I would admit afterwards I'm wrong. But you don't have a tow receipt. You don't have video evidence of it going anywhere. You don't have a service order. You don't even have any firsthand information. You have third-hand information. And I don't have any video evidence. I mean, because you can't really prove a negative. But what I do have is firsthand information that Mr. O'Keefe never said that.
Okay, very good. Okay.
She talked
to
Mr.
Let's
O'Keefe.
hypothetically say something. Hypothetically, all right?
What?
Do you really believe, Kate? You're intelligent. I'll give you that you're going to frame an innocent one. Let's just hypothetically, you think they're going to leave a trail? Come on,
Well,
Kate.
yeah, I mean that's usually how people are caught, right? I mean, you were in the DEA, right? So you understand conspiracy. I would assume that
Oh my God, two retards talking to each other. I can't. I can't.
can't exhibit enough because most drug trafficking is conspiracy related, right?
Well, it's the easiest it's the easiest to prove.
So,
I caught it.
Can anyone, for the sake of getting this over with, find the fucking? I cannot listen to her voice. I can't do it. Can anyone find the timestamp of me of when Sean says somebody's got to have it? We got thousands of people around. Somebody's got to have the fucking timestamp. Just DM me with it. Just DM me. Let me know the timestamp where Sean says that justice for if it's justice for Karen. Okay, it's on Will's channel at that time. Hold on. All right, hold on. Anybody know where it is on this one? Okay. All right, let me see if I can find it then. All right, hold on. Since no one wants to help out, we'll have to do it right now. Hold on. Clearer. All right.
That there were these unanimous counts, but the Aidan doxed the foreman, the jury foreman, right?
What?
Okay, but listen, somebody did, and the jury foreman has been targeted by Free Karen Reed because he was a guilty voter.
It's just so sad to see him sitting up there, just basically being an oaf. It sucks.
Yes.
Yes. I feel like there's like in a way that there's no Santa Claus.
So how?
Yeah, but he did it just to go along to get along. Like that was the whole purpose of this. Now I'm seeing 5833. Okay, let me pull up. Thank you, guys. Thank you, chat. I appreciate that. Let's go back to this. Let's see. 5833. All right.
No. There's no justice for John on my side.
Voter.
I don't know.
It can't. That's at least one holdout that wanted to convict her of all the charges, right? So that makes it impossible for it to be a unanimous agreement on any of the charges. Just if it's just that one guy.
What?
Listen, I zoned out the whole thing because it didn't matter. Because
wait, what did that just? What did you just say?
But
12 on the charge 1 and charge 3, if you believe what they said.
Well, and I mean, again, that's the same sort of issue with the hearsay. And I mean, I don't know that. Here's the thing: is they claim that there were these unanimous counts, but the Aidan doxed the foreman, the jury foreman, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but listen, somebody did, and the jury foreman has been targeted by Free Karen Reed because he was a guilty voter. So
no, that's not. He was a guilty voter on manslaughter. Like this is what I mean by Sean is a fucking idiot who can't. You have a chance. This person is lying. Obviously, you want to go on and give the Karen Reed point of view, but he doesn't fucking know it. He doesn't know it. No, the foreman voted guilty on manslaughter. On murder, they were all not guilty. So she's spreading misinformation, and Sean doesn't know what the fuck to do.
Oh, how can the jury be unanimous if he was a guilty voter?
I don't know.
It can't. That's that's at least one holdout that wanted to convict her of all the charges, right? So that makes it
right. He's like, yeah, right. No, Sean, no.
Impossible for it to be a unanimous agreement on any of the charges, just if it's just that one guy.
Listen, I zoned out the whole thing because it didn't matter. Because I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, and it didn't matter. Yeah, justice for John O'Keefe. Details doesn't matter. He zoned out. He wasn't paying attention. Too busy selling merch.
There's no justice for John on my side, right? If she gets convicted, if the biggest word in the dictionary, right? If she gets convicted, well then she's convicted. It's justice for John. If she's hung again or NG,
what?
Done. Not she's acquitted. It still doesn't bring justice for John, right? Listen, I zoned out the whole thing because it didn't matter. Because I'll tell you right now, there's no justice for John on my side, right? If she gets convicted, if the biggest word in the dictionary, right? If she gets convicted, well then she's convicted. It's justice for John.
If she gets convicted, then she's convicted. It's justice for John.
If she's hung again or NG, right? Done. Not she's acquitted. It still doesn't bring justice for John. You get it? And listen, I mean, you know, I was never going to convince you, Kate or Boomer, right? I think I've given you a couple.
You don't need to convince him. Just argue, say something, defend the position. You're up here representing Free Karen Reed, right? Do you even know it?
Things to think about, right? And I know you guys, I mean, the expectation, we're going to get Sean. He comment.
No, I know that you're for. I guess I'm trying to understand more. These are questions that, first of all, I was asked to ask you, but also like it's not so much. It's to understand the thought process.
Oh my
right?
God!
Make it known. Why didn't you call my attorneys? Listen, I got it all. Is this a cleansing situation? No. What it was when I did the crazy Sean Mel.
You know, for the first almost year, Karen Reed and Aidan Kearney were both alive. There's more to prove that yes, you did actually talk to Karen Reed. Which
baby, we got to suss it out.
Oh, it's not a good look because it just makes me think if they're wargaming.
Yeah. Hey, listen, let it.
Yeah.
Persona non grata.
Do you think it's a case of like cheaper to keep her? Like, if we push this guy away, he's gonna.
They went on tonight, or am I crazy? I thought they went on tonight.
I don't know.
Someone played the game better than me. Just and like I said, so that's.
I want to find
the Tully and give Karen up. I said, see, there it is.
What?
Want to know why it goes right there? You think that thought?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Because there was a second stream, so she did 2 of these. That's the problem. Oh, let me find it. She did 2, right? So maybe it was on the second one. This is the one. Okay. No, wait, no. Is this the one? Yeah, I think this is. It's on this one. That's what it is.
That helps.
Oh, my people, we'll ask you some questions, and it's
Yeah, man, absolutely.
I'll start getting. I don't get this out. I'll be remiss. I'm going to steal a little play from Kevin Linehan, taking that little. When you want to publicly apologize.
Remember, Sean went on a whole thing saying he would never apologize to anyone, right? He went on that whole thing shitting on Karen Reed, shitting on Jen Altman, shitting on me, shitting on the Roccos, whatever. And then he's like, I will never apologize for that ever. And then as soon as he gets on the show, within minutes, he is on his knees begging for forgiveness from several people.
Of course, I don't agree with that.
Oh, here we go.
Stuff's got to stop. I'm telling you. I mean, He said it the other night in his first thing. Just want peace.
Mm-hmm.
Who would ever thought he would be like, kids, peace. I just want peace. I'm all for it.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
The other stuff's got to stop. I'm telling you. I mean, I'm talking about my side. It's got to stop. It's got to stop.
Yeah. So, did you see the other day that
on my side, like the behavior on my side's got to stop. So all you people out there protesting, the rubber ducky people, it's got to stop. He's saying that's what he's saying here. It's got to stop. He doesn't like it. So he's and why is he saying this? Because he wants them to like him. That's all this is. He wants them to like him. So he's trying to say things that he knows they will like so that he will, because right now our side is being hostile to him and he wants to feel loved and he wants to feel liked because that's the only thing that matters to him. And so he will just say whatever he can to make these people like him. That's all this is. He wants them to like him. Now, this is where she asks her about the Brian Albert thing.
Yeah. So, did you see the other day that they found Brian Albert in a hospital cafeteria, for lack of a better word, there, screaming at him in a blowhorn? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I didn't see that.
So what do you think about yelling at Brian in the hospital cafeteria? What do you think about that? So my thoughts on that is what I just said. Well, it's pretty obvious this guy, and a lot of people believe that this guy was involved in murdering John O'Keefe, a Boston police officer and a father of 2. So it's a natural reaction, I think, for people to, yell at him and have reactions like that are viscerally disgusted by him. That's me. Now, maybe I wouldn't do that, but I get why people do that, right? I get it. So, I mean, and whatever he's going through is a fraction of what Karen Reed is going through when the evidence shows Karen Reed had nothing to do with it and Brian Albert did. Okay? That's the correct response to that question. Let's see what he says.
I mean, come on. Of course I don't agree with that.
Of course I don't agree with that. So within seconds of getting on the show, the first thing he does is condemn and say he doesn't agree with the reaction of a person who had the bravery and the fortitude to confront Brian Albert in person, who did what lots of other people would like to do if they had it in them to do something like that. And the first thing he says is, I don't agree with that. So immediately he's groveling to them.
And can I make a public apology? I got 2 to make before I tell you, I'll start getting, I don't get this out. I'll be remiss. I'm going to steal a little play from Kevin Linehan.
Oh,
I want to publicly apologize.
Oh,
for not being a man.
What?
Not being a man enough to stand up to that fool.
Me.
When he called Mrs. O'Keefe the C word day in, day out. And you know something? That's my bad, right? That's my bad. And I feel so bad that I didn't have enough cojones to step. It's not that I didn't. It's just that I should have, but I didn't agree with that at all. And if Mrs. O'Keefe is what you remind me so much of my mother. You gave him a finger, and I'll tell you, my mother would have taken that little head off. No, and you know something? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
And he said the other night, he's defending Mrs. O'Keefe. Well, Jesus Christ. She's a grieving mother. 2 children. She's had
Grieving.
And her son-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit. I'm gonna call bullshit on me. And one more. Karen McCormick. I'm sorry. The hair, I have no problem with your hair. It's just like, okay. It's just one of those things. I want to publicly apologize to Karen McCormick about your hair. I think it's beautiful. Just, get it off your face a little bit.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. So, there you go. So first thing he does is condemn the Brian Albert girl who saw him in the cafeteria, and then gets down on his knees and begs for forgiveness for John O'Keefe's mother, because he didn't condemn me when I called her a cunt. First of all, I call a lot of people a cunt. Michael Proctor calls a lot of people cunts, by the way. And the difference is I'm not investigating a murder. And I'm not talking about the subject of a murder investigation that I'm leading when I'm doing that. But yeah, Peggy O'Keefe, I have called her a cunt before, and other words. I don't like Peggy O'Keefe. I don't like Peggy O'Keefe or Paul O'Keefe because they brought with them to their brother and son's murder court hearings a very serious and solemn event, what's supposed to be. They went out of their way to bring the fake victim with them. A woman who they don't know, but they brought her anyway because they appreciated the fact that they know that she lied about being the victim of domestic violence, because that lie put me in jail for 60 days. And it took me away from my children and made it impossible for me to do my role to fulfill my duties and my role as a father, which is really the most important thing that I'm on this earth to do. And they took that, and she took that away from me, and she lied about it. And Peggy O'Keefe and Paul O'Keefe brought her to court with them as a stunt in order to have me evicted from the courtroom, because they thought that would be funny. They thought that would be funny. In doing so, they trivialized and made a mockery of domestic violence, which is a very serious and real problem, which I guess Sean is okay with. So Sean is okay with domestic violence and treating domestic violence as a joke. Sean is okay with that. Sean is okay with them using this lying skag as a prop to evict me from a courtroom. He's okay with that. So yes, I absolutely called her a cunt because that is the most accurate word I can use to describe her. She sucks. And this maggot, this fucking boomer piece of shit, wants to get up here and beg her for forgiveness in order to please Krusty Panties, a woman who abused her children and is pretending that Karen Reed is innocent because is pretending that Karen Reed is guilty. She thinks that because she's obsessed with me. No. Absolutely. I mean, what a fucking loser. That's it. So I don't know. Maybe sometime I'll sit down and break down all the bullshit in that. I could probably do it, but he's dead. He's done. I've never seen anybody destroy their own reputation in such a short amount of time than Sean and the Gulf has. Because 2 weeks ago, that guy was beloved around here. And now it's just not happening. Now he's got there's 6 boomer ladies left that suck his dick on there and, treat him like a god. And then everybody else is gone. So anyway, there's that. All right, cool. Back to this. Back to the donos here. Anna sends $10 and goes, "Thank you for all you do." You're very welcome, Anna. My pleasure. I appreciate that. I Larry Legend sends $10 and goes, "Hey Doc, I Larry Legend here. Keep pissing off the trolls, liars, and grifters. It's meming made easy. PSA for all free Karen Reads. If you see my memes, borrow, steal, and use. Will do, I Larry Legend. Will do. I got some cash apps here too. I got to bang out. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Jessica sends $5 and goes, Turtles always win the race. Next t-shirt idea. I like it, Jessica. Thank you. Tracy sends $5 and goes, he is a fucking murderer. I would have no shame. I think she's talking about Brian Albert here. I would have no shame doing that. A lot. And again, that's the way I see that video is like, I'm not sitting here being like, yeah, rah, rah. I love that shit. Like everyone should do that. But I get it. I get why people would feel motivated to do something like that because it's a visceral reaction to seeing him. You know, I firmly believe he murdered John O'Keefe. I firmly believe he did. So Lorena sends $5, has no comment. Thank you, Lorena. Tracy sends $10 and goes, oh my God, Brian Albert. I would love to see that motherfucker in public. Again, that's how people feel. So I can't like, they're not feeling that way because they've been lied to. They're feeling that way because he didn't come outside of the house and his story doesn't make any sense. And oh yeah, he destroyed his phone the day before a preservation order was set to come out. And oh yeah, he lied to the grand jury about making and answering a phone call at 2:22 in the morning. And then after he got caught lying, he made up another lie about but answering his phone while he was fucking his wife, Nicole. So maybe that's why people are confronting him in public. I don't know. Okay. $10 from Tracy and says, what in the actual fuck KP, Sean, and random meth head? I think that's who that is. Yeah. Heidi sends $10 and goes, you mess with the bull, you get the horn. Thank you, Heidi. Sue sends $10 and goes, what is the free Karen Reed Discord server about? I'm not sure. I don't really do Discord. Thank you very much. But there one does exist. So there's that. What else we got here? Adrian sends $5 and goes, Turtleboy was right about everything. Thank you very much, Adrian. Odd sends $5 and goes, I'm painting you a turtle. Okay. Thank you, Odd. I appreciate that. Steven sends $5 and goes, Drew Howland's mom pays for his Lexus. Free Karen Reed. Okay, take that, Drew. Robin sends $10 and goes, orgasms are coming. Okay, yes, they are. Thank you, Robin. Brian, in more ways than one. Brian sends $5 and goes, what are your thoughts if Karen's trial moves to April? My thoughts on that are, I talked about this on my morning bus stop the other day. Well, first of all, the weather's going to be better, so I got no problem with that. It's almost a full year after the last trial. Right? Because it's April 16th, the last trial. And the more delay, the better, quite frankly. And I think it's definitely going to be moved. Both parties are asking for it. So, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. But, I thought about this with Karen Reed too. If I were her, what position would I think about this? And she had an interesting comment in the Vanity Fair article, the second one, I think it was, about how she would take a mistrial, like when every time she got called back and like they didn't know what it was about, like when jury was out and they would get called back, she would just think like, is this it? Is this the end? Like, is this the last time I can use the bathroom? And as a free person, what do I do? And, she's like, and that's when I thought to myself, just give me I'll take a mistrial. Let me go home tonight. Let me go home tonight. And nobody knows what that's like. I know what that's like on December 26th, when I turned myself in and I put myself at the mercy of the Judge McCollum in Dedham District Court, on a bail revocation hearing. And it's really up to this guy if I get to go home tonight or if I have to spend the next, what I thought was 90 days in some jail in Dedham that I knew nothing about. And and I was just remember sitting in that cell downstairs waiting to get called up to court. I know everyone's up there. I'm scared as shit. I'm nervous as shit. And I'm just praying over and over again, please let me go home tonight. Just please. I learned my lesson. I will stay away from women like this. I will just, please God, I get it. Just let me go home tonight. It's my fucking birthday. I have not seen my kids yet. They've been texting me. And then again on March 14th too, right? Same shit. that day, oh, that was like a nerve shoot. That was a nerve-wracking day, man. March 14th. Whew, not like I couldn't sleep the night before. I really couldn't sleep for like 20 days when I got out, you know, not knowing like, am I going back to jail today? Like, am I going to fucking jail? It's scary. And you're like, it's not up to me. It's up to other people, whether or not I go to jail. And so I don't know if I was Karen Reed, what I'd rather do. Like, would I rather just get it over with and just have it off my chest? Or do you enjoy each and every minute of your freedom, but you still have this cloud hanging over your head because you know it's coming up? You know what I mean? You know it's coming up eventually. So it's just like, it fucks with your head, man. So I don't know. But I say the longer the feds have to fuck around with shit, the better. You know? And when I remember when they called, when they revoked my bail too, I remember just when you watch the video, you saw Bradel's reaction and you heard the whole court like, oh my God. And then my head just went like that. And I'm like, fuck, I can't believe it. Was in shock. There's no other way to describe it. Shock. And then on March 14th, I almost broke down and cried tears of joy when Pomerol announced he was not going to put me in jail, you know? So that was a great feeling as well. Okay. So I don't know how I went off on that. Let me read some more turtle chats here. The other night I left a comment, Liz says, on Will's channel that said, Sean is trying to take down the movement. What I meant was he's working a case against the movement. I made that comment after he said he had sources on TV in the Roccos. Why would you need to have sources on people you were supposed to be working with? Yeah, again, me and the Roccos are not the story here. And obviously I've had my issues with the Roccos, but I've never like hated them or anything like that. I was slightly annoyed by Nick a while back. I got over it. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, they're not bad people at all. They're actually nice people, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, I have nothing against them at all. Like, my gripe with the Roccos is so minor and petty that I'm not, like, it's stupid. It's stupid. Like, they're fine. Okay. The Roccos are not a problem at all. We had some issues about adminning a Facebook group. There was some of that going on, and Court TV and whatever. Like, it's all stupid when you all think about it. It really doesn't fucking matter. All right. So, so there's that. I mean, I wish I never said anything, to be perfectly honest with you. So, but yeah, again, we're not the story. Like, if anybody's investigating us, like, then you're not looking for justice for John O'Keefe, because I'm just out here trying to get justice for John O'Keefe, etc. So BLT sends $10 and goes, that asshole Boomer is just Plevin in disguise, right? Probably. They all sound like Plevin. Bite My Chloe sends $10, goes, in order to find evidence, you need to actually look. Yeah, that's the thing about that. And again, Phelps's latest podcast, I'm going to have a story coming about him and my manager, Matt Valentinus, and how the story behind the story with that needs to be told. Thank you. Fistula sends $10 and goes, will Judge Coffee throw the book at Krusty Panties? She wants to. She's the one that sentenced her to 30 hours of community service, and she hasn't done it. She just didn't do it. And why can't she? She doesn't have a job. So there's that. Thank you. Brandon sends $5 and goes, do you think DB Cooper's bomb was real or fake? No idea. Thank you. Stephanie sends $5 and goes, love you, Dr. Turtleboy. Trump 2024, baby. Let's go. Yeah. I mean, it was a good night the other night for me, but we're moved past that. We moved past the election. Back to the basics now. Thank you. Xtina sends $10 and goes, will Cristina be coming on to explain why she felt so entitled? We're going to talk about her. Is she another scorned woman like Kara? We want the tea. XOXO Krusty Jr. So, I mean, Kara's not a scorned woman either, but she's a little bit like Kara, except I mean, Kara actually, you know, there's some, like, I didn't even know Kara's last name. I didn't. She's literally just a groupie who threw herself at me. That's all that was. Okay. A couple times here and there, like nothing serious at all. And it turns out she's fucking like swim fan, obsessed with me. Can't let it go. That's another story I could fucking do if I want to, but I don't even want to go there. So no, it's not quite the same as Crazy Kara. But because I never did anything with this person. I never met her. And we'll get to her stuff a little later on tonight, I promise. It's going to be a long show. Melanie sends $5 and goes, hello, doctor. I listened to the 2 episodes of Phelps did in June, and they were totally pro Turtleboy and Free Karen Reed. I'm wondering your thoughts on that. They help expose what a fraudulent piece of shit he is. The best. Love you. # free the closet baby. Yes, we got to get that baby out of there. He changed. He was totally Free Karen Reed until basically I didn't get him shit fast enough that he needed, and he just didn't like me personally, I think. And that's when he decided that. Like, he just completely flipped based on that. So yeah, we'll get to that on another episode or something. Kelly sends $50. Thank you, Kelly, and says, great coverage on the election the other night. Can you wish Mike a happy birthday? The Big 5-1 celebrating next week in the Caribbean. Thank you. Happy birthday, Big Mike on Big 51. Thank you very much. Okay. And just another Cash App here from Carrie sends $20 and goes, PSA, Rich Busa is the child pedo from Revere, Mass. Yes, I am going to be doing a thing on that because he name dropped Brian Albert. Long story. We'll get to that. Thank you. Chad sends $5 and goes, Veterans Day plans? Have none. Just respecting the troops, taking the day off for the troops. So there's that. If anyone else wants to have their message read, Turtle Chat is linked to the top, or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtleboy, and we can do it that way. Okay, let's get down to this. Let's talk about the Bederow Letters and how they're now part of the public record, shall we? Good crowd in here tonight. I saw over 5,300, 5,500 on YouTube right now. Over on Twitter, we got 5,500. How many Rumble Rats we got? 230. Excellent. 230 people over at the Rumble Rats. So that's nice. Okay, cool. Let's see. Which one do we want to start with? Let's start with this one. Okay. So, in part 3 of the Bederow Letters, like we talked about how Michael Morrissey was using a burner email address we found to contact multiple judges, including the Stoughton District Court judge who oversaw my arraignment. This is Daniel O'Malley, and Karen Reed's arraignment. And he's using this because he's trying to hide his communications with the judges, because he was demanding that they identify a court employee who had sent a public document, an affidavit from Jennifer McCabe, and then later on Chris Albert's failed restraining order hearings to me. So they wanted to know who this person was that sent that out. 2 weeks later, after arresting me, someone from the DA's office then used messages from my phone. So they went through my phone despite saying they hadn't gone through my phone. And we know they went through my phone because they printed out messages from my phone and used them to identify and fire the person who had sent Chris Albert's affidavit to someone else who then sent it to me. And so they had the conversation between me and the other person, and that person knew the court employee. And so the court employee was fired as a result of that. I mean, it's just outrageous. Like, you are not supposed to use third party. You're not supposed to use burner email accounts to conduct government business like that. You're also not supposed to have ex parte communications with other, with judges. You can't do that. Right. And Morrissey knows that. And that's why he is using a burner email address. Okay. So back to this. So, all right. We've seen all that. And one of the things in his email he included was this message from Jennifer McCabe that says, I know it's late, but I am horrified that Chris didn't get the order. And I'm even more disgusted that for the second time, someone from the court leaked it right away to Turtleboy. So she's horrified the court didn't do what she wanted the court to do and violate someone's free speech rights by granting an unconstitutional order that would constitute prior restraint. So she's really upset about that. And so who is she sending this to, though? I mean, just look at this. As we see in this message, just the tone of it. I know it's late. So she's not, if she was messaging this to someone like, I don't know, Kerry Roberts or Brian Albert, she wouldn't say, I know it's late, because they're close enough now that they don't need to be like, oh, sorry for messaging you this late. So this is somebody that she probably has a professional relationship with as opposed to a personal. That's what it sounds like. But I'm horrified that Chris didn't get it, the order. And I'm even, so she knows, whoever this is also knows that Chris tried to get a restraining order that day, or else she wouldn't say get it. She would have said got the restraining order he applied to get today. So whoever she's talking to is well aware that Chris planned to try to get a restraining order that day. And probably would have coached him to say, here's what the statute says about witness intimidation. Try this. So they're disgusted that someone leaked it. So this is probably to someone who is either a cop or somebody who works for the Norfolk County DA's office, or both. And I think we all know this was probably sent to Brian Tully, because whoever got this from Jen then forwarded this message to Michael Morrissey, and he sent this out to people. So how else could Michael Morrissey get it if not from one of his detectives? All right. And so we also know that she has a really close relationship with Brian Tully, and it's inappropriate because she's a witness in a case, right? And Brian Tully just gives his phone number out to everyone. Like, we have all his text messages with the fake victim. They were like texting each other on Christmas and shit, and he's acting all hard and stuff to her. Like, I'll read one message, right? He sent, let's see. Tully. All right. I got him here somewhere. Could have sworn. Yeah, here's a message he sent to her, you know. This is on Christmas. She sends him a message and she goes, the fake victim sends him a message and says, the Holden sergeant. So she called the Holden police because I have making sure, have you guys arrested him yet? The Holden sergeant just called me and told me that one of his officers spoke with Aidan yesterday, Christmas Eve, on the phone and told him about the bolo. And Aidan told them he would be coming into the station and turn himself in, but he never did. So that never happened. The Holden police called me and said, oh, are you home? We have something for you. Can you come to the station to pick it up? It was a warrant, as it turns out. They didn't tell me that, though, because they probably knew that I'm less likely to come in if they say there's a warrant on Christmas Eve. So they didn't tell me there's a warrant. So he said they've been continuously driving by Aidan's house to look for him, and the whole house is dark. This is on Christmas. This is how she's spending her Christmas, making sure that I'm arrested for something that she knows that I didn't do. Continuously driving by his house to look for him, and the whole house is dark, not one light, and now they can't reach him at all. So he clearly tried to get them off his tail and then took off to somewhere they wouldn't find him. And Tully responds so she's texting Tully this, and Tully says back to her, I agree. I'll get the fugitive unit on him on Christmas. He's saying, I'm going to get the fugitive unit on. Oh, don't worry. I'm a big bad fucking cop. This guy thinks he's like Captain fucking Badass of cop. Oh, I get the fugitive unit on him on Christmas. Then she sends him another text message. December 23rd. Okay. December 22nd. Hi, Brian. Are you still there? Are you still here? Not Detective Tully. Hi, Brian. On December 22nd. Are you still here? Yes. Are you home? He says. Sorry, I ran to use the bathroom. I'm in the main lobby. Walking in. And then on December 20, this is when she gets the summons. And then on December 23rd, she sends him a message and says, at 12:39 in the morning. This is moments before her and I speak on the phone, and she confesses everything to me. She says, are you awake? She messages Tully at 12:39. He gets back to her at 8:05 and says, sorry, I was sleeping when you texted. Is everything okay? Not really, she says. And she says this at 6:27 p.m. I am literally on my way to her apartment at that time after she invited me there. And she goes, not really. I have a question for Ken, not Mr. Mello, Ken, and tried to call him, but no answer. I know it's the holiday weekend, but he told me I could call anytime. And I just had a quick question. And Tully says, I'll make sure he calls you back ASAP. And then she sends him on December 26th. Okay. I'm already in jail at this point, 10 p.m. Someone is saying that Aidan's going to be publishing a blog about me soon that he wrote in advance. And he's going to get someone to publish it. Okay. So I'm in jail. This is December 27th now. He says it would not be smart of him to talk. It would not be smart of him to talk about his pending criminal charges in writing. It would not be smart of him. We're going to get him like Captain fucking bad. He's just trying to like sound like I'm a fucking badass cop. I'm a state police detective lieutenant. It would not be smart of him. That would be unwise of him. We're going to get the fugitive unit on him. On fucking Christmas, this motherfucker saying this shit. My point here is, who is this? Like, he's just texting. He's giving out his personal cell phone and just texting with this scag on Christmas about this shit. This is the kind of relationship he has with witnesses. Like, I haven't published Tully's texts. Maybe I need to publish those. The text messages. At least he wouldn't give us his whole cell phone to download. He just gave us screenshots, the Colin Albert screenshots of his messages with the fake victim. And they're actually kind of funny in the end, because after he gives up the fucking whole phone, that's kind of funny. I'll give you that. Like, that's after she gives up the whole phone. I don't know if I have it. She gets so pissed at him. And she's like, I'm not doing this anymore. You guys said that you were going to protect me. Then he just ignores her. He stops getting back to her. Okay. So yeah, I haven't published those yet, but anyway, it's like, this is so, the other thing that they told me, that the fake victim told me actually, that when I was over there, and in the messages, they confirm this, is she asks Kate Peter, what did Jen McCabe and everyone think about my meeting with Tully? So why does Brian Tully have a personal relationship? Like, why is Brian Tully talking to Jennifer McCabe about a meeting an interview that he had with the fake victim? Why? I don't know. You tell me. So that's pretty standard. So what does that have to do with anything? Well, we have not heard back yet from Cosgrove about this. We sent these letters out as a formality to say, look at Cosgrove. We know that you're new here, but this is what's been going on. And if you are at all ethical at this point, any ethical person at this point, it's like, yeah, we need to get to the bottom of this or I'm quitting. But he appears to have just ignored them because he's not getting back to us. So that was a professional courtesy on our part to alert him to some problems. To think that we're not going to do anything about this, like an emotion, is naive, of course. Not only us, though, but Carol Reed's team, because this affects them as well. Because now that they know the same district attorney who's going after Karen Reed uses emails, private email accounts, to conduct government business and have ex parte communications with judges, including the judge who arraigned Karen Reed in Stoughton District Court. They have a right to all of that. All of it. So they file this motion ordering the Commonwealth to produce all communications made by the DA, Michael Morrissey, from his personal email address or cell phone that constitute material and relative evidence in this matter, including but not limited to any communications with the witnesses and any and all ex parte communications with the court. As grounds for this motion, recent reporting corroborated by documentary evidence, that's us, demonstrates that DA Morrissey uses his personal email address to communicate ex parte with Stoughton District Court personnel and judges. In the publicly available email sent by the DA Morrissey to Judge Stacey Fortis, copying Thomas Ambrosino and Judge Daniel O'Malley, it appears to be a text message sent to a member of the prosecution by a witness in this matter that constitutes a discoverable statement pursuant to it. Okay. But the problem with this message, as they said, is that Mr. Bederow detailed communications between Miss Jennifer McCabe and a yet unknown member of law enforcement, revealing that DA Morrissey had communicated on an ex parte. Okay. And they said here that DA Morrissey detailed the fact that Chris Albert, another witness in this matter, had sought an ex parte harassment order against Mr. Aidan Kearney, which was denied. Despite the fact that these hearings are public, Morrissey accused a member of the Stoughton District Court staff of leaking information about the HPO proceedings to Mr. Kearney. It's public. Mr. Morrissey alleged that Mr. Albert's affidavit in support of his harassment prevention order was improperly disseminated to a third party, which you can't do with a public court document. There's nothing improper about sharing a public court document at all. DA Morrissey appended a text message to his email from Miss McCabe, which reads, "I know it's late, but I am horrified that Chris Albert didn't get it. And I'm even more disgusted for the second time someone from the court leaked it right to Mr. Kearney." DA Morrissey directly referenced this matter, which was referred to as the Commonwealth versus Reed, misspelled wrong, murder case, in his email. He further notes in his email that the Commonwealth was informed by Mr. Albert and others that Mr. Kearney had been provided with the HPO affidavit filed by Mr. Albert, indicating that a number of witnesses in the matter had contacted the DA's office, the state police, or another police department involved in this case. Regardless, the Commonwealth has vis-a-vis DA Morrissey acknowledged that it is in receipt of statements from a number of witnesses on this matter, which apparently are withheld from the defense. Yeah, they didn't get it. In the email, he's like, a number of witnesses are complaining about this. Why don't we have those communications? Those are all discoverable. All of those. We need all of those. Without citing any specific statute or rule or regulation, he opined that receipt of an affidavit in support of an HPO by a defendant in that very HPO proceeding was, quote, completely unacceptable and must be resolved immediately. The DA Morrissey concluded by stating, "I understand that you have to do an investigation and that may take time, but you have to provide us with some evidence and assurance that you have taken action. So you have to do what I say." Okay? This text message from Jennifer McCabe was not included in the previously produced text messages between Miss McCabe and Michael Proctor. So we know that that's not Proctor she's talking to. It's someone else, and we need that too. We need that too. So this is this is us. We did this. All of this is necessary. Okay. Without the Bederow letters, this would not be happening. I mean, our cases are intertwined. So we're going to have some motions coming to, in our case, to get phones, cell phones. We need all communications. God knows what they've communicated. Like the fact that that Tully and them are using their personal devices to basically conspire with these people to, that they're best friends with. Like that's a big issue here, is they treat these witnesses like they're close friends. Like they work directly for them. Chris Albert says jump and they say how high. This is stuff the feds are going to be interested in. We need all of it. All of it. So our cases are intertwined. And, my arrest and all this can only benefit I think, Karen Reed when it's all said and done. So that's my contribution. Getting arrested and going to jail for 60 days. That's what I've done for this movement. But, you know, I don't have 5 guys. But okay. Next, the other thing we want to talk about here, the other article, this idiot, and then we'll talk about Cristina. This moron. Oh my God. Okay. So, God, last month, the Commonwealth filed this motion, right? Announcing that they hired a new expert named Shannon Burgess, who claims that he can prove where Karen was and when at the time she allegedly traveled 24.2 miles an hour in reverse and hit John O'Keefe with her car. He claims that in the last trial, there was significant data that was not acquired from the chip off. So, if you guys will recall, last month, they claimed that they have a new expert. Because in the first trial, they have all this data about the Lexus infotainment system. It was going 24 miles an hour in reverse. They said a key cycle 1162. And it's, you know, what the wheel was cut to the right or some shit like that. And that's what the data says. And so that was her. That was the evidence that she did this. But the problem is that doesn't say any times on them. So what's his face? Trooper Paul said that 1164 was him testing it out, which wouldn't make any sense because there was like 5 key cycles in between when she was at Fairview Road and when Trooper Paul drove it. So there's no reason, like they should be 5 key cycles apart, not 2 key cycles apart. So there's no time on these. Well, luckily Shannon says that, oh, you guys didn't know? The technology exists. You didn't download enough information from the chip off. You just didn't download enough. If you did the whole extraction, it says the time, boom, right there. I'm an expert. Hire me. Pay me and hire me to do this because I ain't doing this shit for free, obviously. So you got to pay me because I need work. And you got to ship the car to Houston, and the taxpayers will pay for that. And if Karen Reed wants to have an expert there to oversee it, she could pay for that shit too out of her own pocket because I'm Shannon. And how did you find me? How did they find Shannon? Where did he come from? Because this is him. This is Shannon. He's a digital forensic expert, he says. Should we call him? I'm going to call him. No, I'm not going to witness intimidate. I know I'm not witness intimidate.
The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Hi, this message is for Shannon Burgess. My name is Aidan Kearney. I am an investigative journalist. I've recently been following the proceedings in the Karen Reed case when it pertains to your expertise involved in data extraction from the Lexus infotainment system. And I just am curious if you figured out the difference between bits and bytes, because it appears as if you seem to think that MB always stands for mega bits, I think, when it can mean megabytes sometimes. And there's 8. I don't know if you know this because you are an expert. So you probably do know this because I don't want to, assume you're stupid or anything. But there's actually 8 megabits in a megabyte. I don't know if you know that. But if you don't know, now you know. So there's that. So, yeah, I just wanted to see how you felt. It's a little embarrassing. It's a little humiliating. So if you could just give me a call back sometime, Just interested in talking about if that mistake was, an oopsie, or if you actually didn't know that information. So that's all. So I come in peace. I'm looking to figure that out myself and find out, how did you come up on the Commonwealth's radar? Did you apply for a job there? I'm just curious. So give me a call back. Bye. Okay. So we'll see what Manchester. That's not witness intimidation. I'm asking legitimate questions. Like, how can you say that? I'm literally asking a question. I'm not saying you should go to jail or anything like that. I just want to know, because Shannon said doesn't seem to know the difference between megabits and megabytes, and it's kind of a big deal. It's journalism, right? That's not. Come on. And is he really a witness now? Are they really going to go through with him after this? I don't know. So he says, right, the data, if he says if you took the whole chip extraction, it would identify the location of the defendant's vehicle at the time it was engaged in the impact and provide the time and location of the defendant's travel from the scene to the location of Mr. O'Keefe's home. Okay. Now, you go on Twitter, and Jessica Hyde, the same woman, the same expert with the do-rag there, who said that Jennifer McCabe's Google search at 227 never happened, who has now been debunked by an FBI trained or a Quantico trained FBI specialist and a guy with a PhD from the University of Purdue, who said unequivocally and does forensics, cell phone, like that's what his degree is in. Forensic, whatever. So that guy said that the 227 search did happen. Okay. So somehow this idiot became the expert for them. How did they find her? We don't know. They just went expert shopping. She was probably like 100th on their list. That's another thing I'd like to know is how many experts did they ask? Like, was she the first person? How'd they pick her? How'd they find this person to say exactly what they wanted her to say? Anyway, it appears as if she has a professional relationship with Shannon Burgess, because last October 2022, she said that somebody seeking a new opportunity, 7+ years experience in finding truth in data. Please DM if you know of a possible fit. This is an awesome candidate. And Shannon Burgess says, I sent a DM. Okay. So, Mr. Burgess opines that the acquisition of files in December of 2023 should have been closer to 64 megabytes. That's what he said. Because I think there was 8 megabytes of data extracted initially. And he's like, that it should have been 64. And he believed that the discrepancy likely resulted from deficiencies in the hardware. So you guys screwed up the first time around. That's why you couldn't find the time, because you didn't extract the whole thing. Additionally, he identified 2 of the components, the Micron JWB57 and the Micron 29F whatever. The date contained incomplete data acquisition. The Micron JW only produced 540 megabytes acquisition and should have been 4 gigabytes. Okay. So this is about 8 times, 4 gigabytes is about 8 times of this. The Micron 29F only netted 264 megabytes and should have acquired 2 gigabytes. And again, this is about 8 of these. So he's off. He's saying that there's 1/8 of the data that was supposed to be sent over came over. You guys only looked at 1/8 of the data from this chip off on all 3 things. And maybe he should have been like, wait a minute, 8. That's an interesting number. How does 8 factor into this? Why are they all 1/8 of what they should have been? Why are all 3 of these things exactly 1/8 of what they should have been? But he didn't ask himself that. So he's like, this is a deficiency. Well, luckily, our good friend Olivia Lamb, or Lambeau, I don't even know her real name. She's awesome. She's Olivia. Okay. She's got a blue check mark. She's got a pretty decent following on Twitter. She's known for her long tweets in which she breaks down information, and you need some time to read her tweets. I like Olivia's tweets. Sometimes I run out of time. I'm just my attention span, you know. I remember her making this tweet and I didn't read it enough because the basic of her tweet was that this is when it first came out last month. She's like, they're looking at megabytes. Like, look at her tweet. Oh, let's break it down. She had it perfectly. She's my wife, but you have a wonderful wife then. She's awesome. She's wicked smart. So she says the Commonwealth's latest expert, Shannon Burgess, in his analysis, okay, doesn't understand the basic difference between gigabits and gigabytes. The memory IC datasheet from the Micron part confirms that it is a 4 gigabyte flash memory. The memory pass confirms, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so basically, let's see here. A byte is 8 bits. So 4 gigabytes is 4 gigabits. Huh? Oh, so 4G lowercase b. Wait. Or whatever. Okay. To convert that to bytes, you divide by 8. Every 8 makes 1 byte. So 4 gigabytes divided by 8 is 0.5 GB or 500 megabytes. Make sense? So 500 megabytes are in 4 gigabytes. And that's almost the exact number that came over in the extraction. Was 500 megabytes, right around there. And he's like, whoa. It's supposed to be 4 gigabytes. It's supposed to be 4. But it's not supposed to be 4, as it turns out. It's not supposed to be 4 gigabytes. It's supposed to be 4 gigabits. He doesn't know the difference between a byte and a bit, apparently. I mean, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing that he didn't know the difference between these two things. I mean, what a fucking mistake this is. So now Karen Reed's got to hire her own expert, Matthew DeSogra. He says that certain statements set forth in Mr. Burgess's proposed protocol, which form the basis of his opinions, are factually inaccurate. He misstates the memory storage capacity of the chips in question by failing to account for the differences between a megabyte, a megabit, a gigabyte, and a gigabit. Mr. Burgess misstates the memory storage capacity of the chips. In a 64 megabit flash memory component, 64 megabits is equal to 8 megabytes. 4 gigabits is equal to 500 megabytes. 2 gigabits is equal to 250 megabytes, which suggests that all available data was successfully retrieved during the first acquisition. And again, look at this guy's. What's his name? Has a degree from community college in computer something. Matthew DeSogra's got a Master's of Science in Mechanical Engineering from the University of North Carolina, Charlotte. UNC Charlotte. The 49ers, I think. Yeah. And he's worked for a company called, he's a professional engineer with Delta Forensic Engineering. So this is what this company does. I mean, look at this guy's history. And he's got I found a whole video here. Now,
Truck and Bus Council. He received his bachelor's and master's in mechanical engineering from the University of North Carolina and is also a licensed professional engineer. So that should help you understand why we're in SAE's highly lauded seminar he co-developed called Accessing and Interpreting Heavy Vehicle Event Data Recorders.
Again, listen to this. Listen to what he did. Hold on.
He continues to be actively involved in various standards committees, published technical research, and instruct SAE's highly lauded seminar he co-developed called Accessing and Interpreting Heavy Vehicle Event Data Recorders.
Accessing and interpreting heavy event vehicle data recorders. I mean, is anything more appropriate? Is anybody more qualified to talk about it than this guy? And so this guy's like, bro, you don't know the difference between a byte and a bit. Come on, man, Shannon. What are we doing here? Poor man, Shannon. You know, he just didn't understand the difference. And this woman, Maggie Gaffney, she formerly worked for the state police. She was the original one who did the extraction, who was like, fuck you. You know, you're insulting me. You're saying I didn't do the full extraction like I'm a fucking idiot. She's like, no. She was the expert who, let's see. She's a former state police computer crimes investigator and forensic examiner who has a master's degree in digital forensics. She currently works for Teal Technologies, a Connecticut-based data extraction company with international reach. So that's who they have. That's who they have. And again, my analysis of this at the end is the Commonwealth's done a lot of stupid things during this case, but dubbing someone an expert who doesn't know the difference between bytes and bits and gets debunked by a random woman on Twitter might be the dumbest. They've proven with Ian Whiffen and Jessica Hyde that they will conduct an international search until they find an expert, anyone who's willing to testify and say the things that they want them to say. That Jennifer McCabe is a great person who would never lie about anything, and that Karen Reed is guilty. Anyone. They don't just take the first person who comes along. They search until they get somebody who's going to say the thing that they want them to say. Right? Why did they go to Alberta, Canada to find Ian Whiffen? Can anyone answer that question? Why him? Are there not people around here who can do what he's doing? Why this fucking one guy? In the case of Whiffen and Hyde, they were both looking to use the trial to promote themselves or an app that they developed. They didn't just find Whiffen, you know, and they didn't just find Shannon Burgess. There's plenty of experts who could easily verify about this tech stream data stuff. But no, they had to find man Shannon. Although at this point, I would hope that that's off the table at this point, because this is just embarrassing. Good job, Hank Brennan. Good job. You're new here. Good. Things are going great, Hank. Nobody, I mean, this guy, talk about throwing your fucking reputation away. You know, talk about throwing your goddamn reputation away. That's something else entirely. Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right. Hold on one sec. All right. So before we get started on the Cristina Michetti thing, that's what we'll end with here. Let me read some turtle chats. Let me see if we have any. Well, yes, we do. All right. Rodney sends $10 and goes, please stop saying free the closet baby. The kid gonna hear about this at some point, and the more it's brought up, the more it's going to be part of his story. It's actually her and his earlier life. That's not great to begin with. Let's not add to this kid's future problems. Again, I would agree with you if we were saying the kid's name, which we're not doing. You don't even know the gender, but I get it. And thank you for the $10. And I get what you're saying there, but you know, relax, Rodney, relax. The closet, it's a joke. Okay. It's just a fucking joke. It's ridiculous that a child lives in a closet. That's the ridiculous. It's ghetto. It's really ratchet to have, you know, everyone should have a window. You know what I mean? Like, what, everyone deserves a window. Like, what do you do on those? Doesn't it get stuffy in there? You know, everybody needs a window. You can't be living in a closet. Not good. Okay. So there's that. Susan sends $10 and goes, who do you think Gemma Cabe texted the I know it's late? I think she texted Brian Tully. So thank you, Susan. Amy sends $10 and goes, I love you, Turtleboy. Sexy, funny, and smart. Nice. Love from England, Cornwall. I like it. I like those words, especially sexy. So thank you very much. All right, cool. Joanna Banana sends, what do we have here? 35-6. Bama fucking killed him, huh? Woo. That's big. That's big. So they're gonna move up. Notre Dame's gonna move up 2 spots too because Georgia lost. They got 2. We got to pass them now. And Miami? They're frauds to begin with. But see you later, Hurricanes. We're up to number 8, baby. Okay, next. And Notre Dame, I assume 31-3 is the last I saw, so that's good. Joanna Banana sends $5 and goes, "Hi from Arizona. Would it be possible to do an email campaign to keep Josh Levy at his post? I don't think Donald Trump is going to listen to your email campaign. Would something like that help with Sandra Garcia at all? No. I don't think. Thanks for everything, Turtleboy. Fuck KP with the greasy French fry. Excellent. No, I don't think, as much as your intentions are good, I don't think it would do much. So thank you, Joanna. $10 from NH New Hampshire Saint, I think, says, if Mumbles McDonough went on your show, he would agree to whatever you said. A complete phony and blowhard. He did come on my show and he did agree with everything I said. So there's that. Thank you. Jen sends $10 and goes, I don't know how you do it. They ticked off a few in your chat. My humor and snark don't translate well. We'll be up for 72 hours worrying about it. Truly hope you get free from your burdens soon. Okay. Thank you very much, Jen. Networked Justice sends $5 and goes, the other side is Plevin and the towel. Krusty Panties and LG are a self-inserted criminal element. Yes, they are. Completely agree. Loud Mouse sends $25 and goes, I have wondered more than once if Sean has an alcohol problem. Seriously, not all drunks slur. For real, though, it may explain him spouting off, then later explaining it off. Drunks, wallpaper shit might explain his red face and wife pounding on the door, too. Santa ain't real, and KP aren't worth my words. Yeah, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to opine about, because I like to stick to the facts. I don't know if he has a drug or alcohol problem, and I wouldn't go there. I'm just going to stick with what I do know, and that's that he's embarrassing himself and doesn't know the case and is just an attention-seeking clown, in my opinion. So there's that. Okay. Suzanne sends $10 and goes, pushing until April is great as the discovery from the civil lawsuit will be coming in. Great point, Suzanne. Fantastic point right there. That's a great point. All these depositions that they're going to do with the McAlberts folks. Whew. Yeah, bring it on. Thank you. Jenny sends $10 and goes, hashtag Sean sucks Phelps. Okay. Thank you, Jenny. Shannon sends $10 and goes, do you believe Peggy believes Karen Reed actually did what she's charged or that she's in on the cover up? No, she's not in on the cover up. She's not in on the cover up. She doesn't like Karen Reed. That's all it comes down to. She doesn't like Karen Reed, and she's too prideful and stubborn to admit that she has been duped, and she's allowed the people who murdered her son to be around her. Like that's embarrassing to have to come to terms with that. So that's the harder we push, the more she wants to double down, basically. Renee sends $10 and goes, Turtleboy, please let little Ginger Bee know she's your favorite 11-year-old turtle rider. Yes, you are, Ginger Bee, my favorite 11-year-old turtle rider. So thank you very much for riding the turtle. I got a couple cash apps here to bang out. First up, we got Brian sends $5 and goes, thoughts on Karen's hearing from the other day? Good question. I didn't really talk about that much. Well, they grilled the fuck out of Weinberg about it. I don't know anything. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know anything about how this works. The SJC basically, the justices all did their homework. They all read up on the case and knew all about it, and they had questions planned for him. And Weinberg had an answer to everything and did the best that he could. I mean, this is new ground. This has never happened before. So I don't know what they're thinking. If you were to watch that, you'd be like, this ain't going nowhere, because they grilled him on this shit. They grilled him. And if you were to take the tone of their questions, you'd be like, well, these guys ain't going to overturn this, but you never know. The fact that they had it all to begin with, I think the majority wins on this, but whatever, like, we'll see. If not, we go back to trial. So there's that. There's that. All right, next. Amy, no, I already had that. No, we have here, let's see. Mark sends $2 and says, free the closet, baby. Okay, thank you, Mark. Deanne sends $25 and has no comment. Thank you, Deanne. Okay, cool. Let me just refresh the turtle chats here. Okay, cool. Oh, no. Julie sends $10 and goes, I've been telling everyone here in Texas about the case, praying for you and Karen. We're in Texas. I mean, Texas is big. You got to specify when you say Texas. But thank you, Julie, for spreading the word and praying for me and Karen. Thank you. $10 from A-Rod Rodriguez says, you have to watch the documentary Outcry. It's the same case as Karen Reed, except the kid is 17. Police and his lawyer are framing him. There's a Turtleboy in the documentary and a select board. The police calls his supporters the mob. It's kind of freaky how similar it is to Karen Reed. What's it called? Outcry? I'll check that out, A-Rod. Thank you. Okay, cool. All right. So let's jump into the other shit here. I'm going to get a drink real quick. I got to fill this up again. Then we'll get started. Hold on. All right, we're back. Free the closet, baby. Let's go. Okay. Let's get into creepy Cristina here, shall we? And if anyone else wants their messages read at the end, we'll come back to the turtle chats when this is done. And you can click at the top for turtle chat. You can donate whatever amount of money you want. And when you do that, you can leave a message and I will read that out loud to the class. I got to get rid of this shadow. Hold on. Other way. All right. We're doing like that. Okay, cool. All right. Let's jump on it. All right. So this chick's name, her name is Cristina Michetti. And again, I thought I was done with like ratchet shaming or whatever, but you know, this is really related to the Reed case. And honestly, sometimes you just got to ratchet shame. You just got to get a little old school. You know, ratchet shaming is my foundation. It's how I started this whole thing. And, you know, sometimes you just got to ratchet shame. So her name's Cristina Michetti, I think, from Walpole. Right? Now, she's a turtle rider, or was. I don't know if she still is anymore. I'm sure she's watching now. Okay. And she's been messaging for years, right? Like she's bought my book when I came out in 2018, like a diehard turtle rider, like big supporter, defended the wall, all that shit, right? Where's Turtleboy care? Yada, yada, yada. And, you know, when I was early on in my Turtleboy days during this, like, believe it or not, there would be like 300 people watching this live show when I was doing this a couple years ago, like before Karen Reed, like 400 was like a really good night on like live. I never got over 1,000 once, not once. And then Karen Reed comes around and boom. I mean, how many people are here right now? 5,500 people. Fucking 11:10, you know? And so because I'm bringing it up because I had a more personal relationship, I think, with turtle riders back then than I do now. I just don't have time for it now. I got there's way more people following this shit now. I can't respond. Like, I see the messages when they come in. I can't respond to a lot of them. There's not enough hours in the day. I can't do it. But back then, you know, I responded to more messages. I was more responsive to these people. And especially if they were big supporters, and I would talk to them, you know, I'm a man of the people like that. And she would be one of these people that I've had messages with over the years about this shit, just got real into it, you know? And in February of 2020, that's when the split with Krusty Panties happened. All right. And we don't need to go rehash it all, but she was stealing money from me, basically. And then as soon as she left, she started bad mouthing me and saying things that were factually untrue. Okay. She would say that, would tell people that, oh, he's stealing money from this woman, Sam Carden. She's like a domestic violence victim that was being sued by Ryan Waters. She was a co-defendant in mine. Oh, I got Sam a lawyer. Actually, my lawyer did work for her that I paid him to do. So that's just a lie. So she's making up lies, and I would have to defend these lies and, tell the real truth. It was a pain in the ass because she worked for me, Krusty did, and so people trusted her. And then when she left, she's like, oh, Aidan's a scammer, Aidan's a fraud. And she would make up these lies about me, and I'd be like, what? That's not true. I have receipts over here to prove it, XYZ. Every time. Every single time. And then I found out about her kids, that she gave them away to the state, that 2 of them got taken, and that the other 2 are in and out of foster care. And then I'm like, okay. Cristina. Oh, that's the name. Cristina. She's Cristina. All right. So she left, and one of the lies that she told was in Discord was she messaged this woman, Cristina, and she said this. Okay. She said that she told Cristina that I was planning on writing a blog about her. And this is Kate saying, she's saying to BTG is Cristina. And Kate is saying to her, no, the ones where Aidan asked if I was going to blog about you. And I firmly said, no go, because you're not doing anything wrong now. And everyone fucks up. So she's like, oh, Aidan wanted to write a blog about you, about your DUIs. Cause she does have 2 DUIs at the time. Aidan wanted to write a blog about you. All right. And then so she comes to me and she says, were you going to blog about me? And I go, no. Completely untrue. And she goes, I asked her for proof because this is a fan. You know what I mean? I don't want a fan thinking like I'm going to expose them. I asked her for proof and she said she's getting it. I go, she's the one that brought up your DUIs or whatever. And I said, I like that chick. And she goes, apparently you were going to blog about me. And she talked you out of it. Okay. And she says, yeah, fuck it. I have 2 DUIs. Who cares? I had a drinking problem. This is not news. I don't even want. And I go, I specifically said, blah, 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 that she's a big supporter. She goes, if you tried to blog about me, I'm out. That's fucked up. And I go, of course not. She's a liar, pathological liar. It's the exact opposite. She's saying that she defended me against you. And now she can't find the texts. I've been pretty loyal to Turtleboy. We'll see, but I'll be really disappointed if this is true. I go, if it was true, she would have shown it by now. Then she goes, she lost her kids to DCF. I mean, I think a DUI is small compared to that. And I'm with you on that, sister. That is small. I agree. Yeah, I hope you don't believe a word she says. I don't see any proof. I won't believe it. Okay. And so this is what she sent me. And so Kate sends her a screenshot. And this is her conversation with me. And I said, so I'm sending her an article in which Cristina was arrested in 2019. Now, why am I sending her this? Because I noticed that Cristina was on Twitter talking, she gets in these Twitter beefs with people. And there was some guy named Rich Kelleher who was really involved in the Kirk Minahan world. And she was going at it with him about something. And then he posts this link. And he's like, you're a drunk. Post this link about her getting arrested. She wasn't actually drunk. She actually passed her sobriety tests on this occasion. So she wasn't drunk for this one, I guess. At least she wasn't arrested for it. So I saw this guy, Rich Kelleher, posting in the comments this link. And so me and Kate were talking about it because this is when Kate worked for me. And I witnessed this happening on Twitter. And I'm like, oh man, look at this. This is getting ugly, And I'm like, so I said, this was it. Like this is, so if you see the conversation above, we're talking about how there's some tweet beef in which this girl, Christine, is getting dragged. And I go, this was posted. And then Kate says, oh, right, Twitter. And I said, yeah, but you're not blogging about her, are you? So it's the exact opposite. It's the exact opposite. I'm literally saying, you know, you're not blogging about her, are you? Like, I'm protecting her. And then the first thing, this is the kind of lie that Krusty Panties tells. She immediately goes, oh, Aidan, what did she say? What did she say earlier to her in the message? That Aidan asked if I was going to blog about you, and I firmly said, no go. No go. Like, I'm like, yeah, you're not blogging about her, are you? You know? Like, I'm like, so she makes it seem like I'm like, hey, can you write this blog? And I'm like, you're not blogging about her. No, like, and Kate knows this. Like, that's how fucking deceptive and dishonest this person is. And now I've been dealing with it for 5 years. She doesn't go away. She just can't stop. She can't stop lying. So, you know, then she goes, Krusty tells her, you have no idea the stories I shot down on a weekly basis. I've never gotten arrested for driving drunk. I'm not better than you. You never lost custody of children. You're not better than me. I'm not to defend Christina here, but she kind of is better than, everybody's better than Kate. Okay. This does not prove he was trying to write about me, she says. So she calls her out on it and she goes, he sent that to me to write about. I declined. That's completely untrue. Okay. So I'm sorry. She did that to you, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So then we're cool. And then over the air, she talks shit about Kate to me a lot. She's like, how's that? Oh, I dealt with alcoholism. How's that going, Kate? I mean, I don't know what kind of parent you are. And frankly, I don't care that much. It's just funny because I am friendly with a few guys who coached back in the day when they were in high school and they have nothing but good stuff to say about you. Yeah. She's telling me about like some people that she went to college with. I coached them in high school in track and they said good things about you and blah, 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 blah. I don't care about your personal life, nor do 97% of your readers. Congratulations on the Monica Cannon Grant story. Awesome. So she's a big follower. And then Karen Reed happens, and I don't hear from her for a while. And I start getting messages like this from her because I noticed she was on Twitter talking shit about me and Karen Reed. I'm like, whoa, is this that chick that used to message me all that time? So I messaged her, and I'm like, what's up with this? Is this you on Twitter? And she initially denied it. No, that's not me. Well, then someone's pretending to be you. They're using your name. And then she's like, yeah, well, I think Karen's guilty. And then she's like, I live around Canton and I will be spreading the word. This is in April that you're a rapist. Okay. I will be spreading around. So this is like calling someone a rapist is not a light thing. And she does this a lot. Just messaging me and telling me I'm going to be spreading the word around town that you're a rapist. Well, Christina, no one's going to believe you because that's a lie. And there's not only is it a lie, it's a provable lie. You see, Christina, there is actually a police report. The fake victim did in fact go to the Medfield police, but not on her own. You see, Christina, she wiretapped sexual relations, right, with me. She had a Ring camera video in her bedroom that she didn't tell me about. And that is, you know, like it or not, according to the wiretapping statute, when there's audio, that's wiretapping. Okay. And so I went to the police with that. And I said, because I'm being charged with wiretapping. Well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. She wiretapped me too. So I went there and the police seemed to agree. Yeah, this is wiretapping. And they sent it to the DA's office and the DA has done nothing with it. Shocking. I know. The Norfolk DA's office. But the Medfield police seemed to agree that this was indeed felony wiretapping. It doesn't matter if I liked it. It doesn't matter if we've done videos before. None of that matters. Like, you have to tell people. Again, you know, if I knew I was going to be on camera, I would have done my hair a bit. Okay? And maybe I wouldn't have said some shit. That's a little bit like, oh, you know, that's embarrassing, right? Something like that. You know what I mean? When you're on camera, you might act a little differently, and you know it. So I was not made aware of this. So I tell the police about it. I'm like, this, she put a fucking Ring camera in her bedroom on purpose, obviously, without telling me. She could have just told me. Like, that's it. But she told me later on and sent me the videos. And then she said, I've watched it 20 times and blah, blah, blah. So I went to the police with it. And then the police called her in for comment about it. That is when this rape allegation came forward. Like, that is the first time she's like, oh yeah, and he raped me 5 months ago. Completely made up. You know, completely made up. So she, you know, to back it up, she's like, she had some messages. Haley has done a whole thing on this. Haley Walbrick showed all these messages in which she's like, I don't remember last night, and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, it's really something. And then she says, he put something, she told the cops that like, oh, he roofied me or some shit like that. And all this shit, like completely made up. Nothing like that happened. And then she shows them a video. She's like, this is the rape video. She sends a fucking video, and the cops in the report say that they watched the video and it's not rape. They're like, this is two clearly conscious people going to town. Like, that's it. Like, she shows them a fucking video for some reason, and the cops are like, that's not rape. It says it right in the fucking report. So it's nonsense. And then you got this skag over here saying, and it's just another lie. It's just another lie. Something they can make up about me. It went nowhere. Okay. The police were like, this is, bro, look at you showed us a tape of something that is clearly not rape. So what the fuck? You know? Anyway, she goes, I live around Canton, and I'll be spreading the word that you're a rapist. And then the next day you get this. Hey, sorry, I don't treat people that way. I'm in your corner, and I hope things work out the best for you. I shouldn't have said any of that stuff. I disagree with you on Karen Reed. I apologize. This is like a pattern with this woman. She messages me one day like, I want you to go to jail. You're a rapist. And the next day, I'm really sorry. I'm like, okay, I appreciate that because I forgive. I don't feel like holding grudges. I forgive, you know? Then she messages me the next day and goes, hey, I just wanted to apologize again. I've got some shit going on in my life, and you hit me at a bad time yesterday. I really did not mean what I said. I hope you can understand. I replied to her like a month or so later. I lose this. I replied to her like a month or so later. I go, sorry, I never got the chance to respond to this. I'm glad you didn't mean what you said. It's fine if you don't agree with me, but going to jail isn't something I'd wish on many. I hope whatever you have going on in your life works out. And she goes, I don't wish that upon you. I was just hearing the rape rumors, which I should not have blindly believed. I appreciate you responding. And then she starts some shit. Then she's like, opens up. Oof, not looking great for your girl, Karen. If you thought that trial was not looking great for Karen, then you are fucking retarded. There's no other way to put it. Like, this woman clearly just doesn't like Karen Reed. Like, Karen Reed rubs her the wrong way. When you read all her tweets, she's so jealous of her, you know, and we'll get to this. So it goes. So she says here, the most frustrating thing is that you know she's guilty. No, I love when they say this. No, Cristina, you know that she's innocent. You know that. You're not stupid. You've seen the autopsy photos. That's not what it looks like when you get hit by a car. That's not what it looks like, especially when you land on grass. Okay? You know this. Everybody knows this. You have two guys with PhDs who work for a crash reconstruction company who have tested and were hired by the FBI, who testified that John couldn't have been hit by a car, period. So you know this, Cristina, but they love to say this to me. You know she's guilty. Oh, why? Because Kevin Lanahan told you that? Right. Right. So, I mean, that he seems like a sane and sound-minded individual. Right. But you have turned this new low where you're willing to throw a 17-year-old kid under the bus. What if that were Brady? That's my son. So she's bringing my fucking son into this. Don't bring my fucking son into shit. Or what if everyone was booing your mother when your brother died? Okay. Again, she's just falling for false bullshit out there that's coming from Krusty Panties. And it's ironic because you've Cristina, you've been lied to before about Krusty panties. Like Krusty panties tricked you before. Remember in 2020? Remember she initially tricked you? She made you think that I was planning on writing an article about you. She lied to you. And then I showed you receipts showing that this is completely made up. And you've seen over the years that she does this all the time. And she is the nexus of all this shit, these lies about booing the O'Keefes and all this other. She's the nexus of that, and you're blindly believing her. And you think I'm the one who's lost his way? Dear, that's not how any of this works. The money you are receiving and the women you are getting, the women I'm getting, and the supposed fame, it's not worth it. You're selling your soul. You loved being a teacher, right? This isn't you. This whole like fucking play for like, you're better than this, Aidan. How dare you expose corruption? Bitch. No, Cristina, I'm the same guy I've always been. You liked it when I exposed Monica Cannon Grant for being a fraud, right? I'm doing the same thing now with these people, with the McAlberts, with the DA's office, with the police. That's what I'm doing. Open your eyes, girlfriend. Said, it's sad to watch you go down the hole. You are a journalist, right? Okay. You know, you're willing to go to prison for a woman who you know is guilty, and that woman doesn't care if you're dead or alive. She's looking out for herself. I don't give a fuck what Karen Reed thinks of me. That's the thing about this. I don't care if Karen Reed hates me. I would feel the same way, and I'm going to keep doing what I'm always doing, regardless of what Karen Reed thinks of me, period. You're going to go to prison for that? Yeah. You can date 20-year-olds all day. 20-year-olds. Ew. Not Dave Portnoy. But when it comes down to it, your kids are going to see your beat off videos. Nice. I don't know why. And you're going to have to explain them. What? And seeing you have random women over all the time isn't going to help. What? Again, didn't she say earlier, no one cares about your personal life? Isn't that what she said? And here she is like, what? Be responsible. Be a father. A child is molded heavily over having a strong father figure. What? You don't know anything about me. I don't want to brag. I'm a little bit biased, but I feel like I'm a pretty good father. Like I do. Anybody who see me out and about with my kids, like I'm with them all the time. I was with them all fucking day today. Went to the soccer game, right? They take care. Like, what the fuck? You got to be kidding me. You don't know anything about me. Like, where are you getting this shit from? You know? I like that she called me 20. Yeah, you're all 20. Again, I don't like 20-year-olds. That's the thing. I've done a rant on this before, but I have no interest in like Dave Portnoy's into girls that young. I ain't into that shit. I don't think not that it's like creepy, although it is a little creepy. But I'm just not interested in that. I like women in their 30s, to be honest with you. Like, it's like, come on, for obvious reasons, you know. I think first of all, I would have nothing to talk to a 20-year-old about. I have nothing to talk to about a 20-year-old about, because I don't have anything in common with them. I'm like, so remember the 90s? Oh wait, no, you don't at all. Okay, so yeah, how about that? Drake, is he still popular? TikTok's really cool. I don't even know what the fuck I'd talk to a 20-year-old about. It'd be so weird. You know, I'm not into that shit. I don't know how Dave Portnoy does it. I understand he's just fucking them, but it's like, I don't know. And it's like, they're not sexually mature enough at all. They're not. They haven't figured out their whole bodies yet. They don't know everything that they like as much as a 30. You know what I mean? It's like, so this is going to get a little graphic here, you know, but that's why I don't get it. I'm not into I don't do the 1920, not my thing. Never been my thing. So that's incorrect. That's fake news. Okay. Back to this. I hate seeing you destroy yourself, but you are doing exactly that. You need to look at yourself, because at the end of the day, all your followers will be sad if you go to prison. Okay, yeah, right. I'm like, can you please leave my son out of this? You know, he's 6. And I'm like, is this you? Yep. Okay. I don't like to watch. It's become sad to watch. You come after kids. I just mentioned your son's name and you get defensive. Yeah, you did. That's the thing, Cristina. Don't mention my sons. Don't talk about my son. Don't talk about my son. And what kids do I, but she thinks it's okay because I come after kids. What kid do I come after, Cristina? What kid? Tell me. Again, you're spreading crusty panties lies. The same person who lied to you in 2020 and tricked you and conned you because you're kind of stupid. The fact that you needed me to go and show receipts that, I wouldn't write about you, you should have felt stupid after that because I was dumb of you. You believed an obvious lie. You fell for it because you're kind of a stupid person who blindly believes bullshit. That's it. I'm not the one who's changed, dear. You have. And don't mention my son ever again, ever. Okay? I go, I'm 1,000% convinced Karen's innocent. She's never going to jail. Okay? You don't understand the impact you're having on people. And then there's this lie. Says the guy who sent a picture of semen on one of the witnesses. And this is another lie that, what's his name? Phelps spread the other day, that Jennifer McCabe spread in court. They sent a picture of semen in my daughter's face. This never happened. Let's see it. I want to see it. Can anyone produce this? Can any of the trolls, because I know you guys are watching right now, go dig it up for me. Prove me wrong. Show me the text message that Jennifer McCabe got showing a picture of her daughter with semen on her face that was distributed by my people. Can you do that? Can you do that? Can you? Because Jennifer McCabe testified that's what happened. And of course, this fucking moron who blindly believes her is like, you did this. Yeah, okay. I'll take things that never happened. They aren't murderers. Karen accidentally hit him. No, it's like you're just retarded. And that's the other thing. It's like you're just fucking retarded if you think Karen hit him with a car. There's no point. You can't debate with these people. They're fucking retarded. That's it. You're getting paid to say it. Your opinion has nothing to do with the grief. You think every single person has lied under oath? No, I don't. I don't think that, I don't think Michael Lank lied under oath. I don't think that Sean Good lied under oath. I think that Katie McLaughlin did. Definitely think Katie McLaughlin did. I think that Jennifer McCabe, Matt McCabe, Brian Albert, Colin Albert, Nicole Albert, Sarah Levinson, and Julie Nagel and Brian Higgins all lied under oath. I think they all did because they were all inside the house where a murder took place. So they had to lie or else they're going to jail. So that's what people do when they don't want to go to jail. They lie. So yeah, I think they're lying. Stupid. Okay. Every person on that stand was credible. All you can do is just laugh emoji at that one. I go, what about the semen thing? Do you got that? You got anything? Oh, I would not put that post. I would not put it past you or one of your followers who are middle-aged, unemployed women who have nothing else to do with their lives. That's the thing about it is you've actually joined a group that's filled with women like that fit that description. Again, I have millions of people who follow and listen and watch and all that stuff who have been, trust me, there's a lot of people that do it. There's a wide range of people. I'm sure some of them are unemployed, certainly. But also, Cristina, there's also a very highly educated class that subscribes to this. Doctors, nurses, cops. I actually was out to dinner yesterday in Holden with my two kids and went to the bathroom and a guy's in there and he introduces himself and he said, I'm a trooper. I'm a state police trooper at the barracks you went to. I support you. He goes, I follow all this shit. So this happens all the time. All the time. And these aren't the people you're seeing posting on Twitter and posting here and there. They're just silently reading it and they enjoy it and they agree with me. Okay? So, and there's also a decent amount of men. It's not just women. Okay? So, and not all of them are middle-aged, right? I think probably the biggest demographic is probably 35 to 44. 35 to 54 is probably my biggest one. I don't have 18 to 24 is not really my thing, but I get it. Then she goes, I live in this area. Nobody beyond your followers believes it. No, actually they don't. Actually, everybody really believes it. That's the thing. I was such a fan of your work, but I don't know who you turned into. It's hard to accept it, and you'll be in prison. Okay, if you go to prison for this, everyone would be sad, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Oh, my God. Like, no, I'm not going to prison, stupid. You think you have this huge following. I do, but normal people working 9-to-5 jobs do not agree with you. Yeah. I mean, I think most people watching right now, the 5,300 people live watching on YouTube, I think most of them are employed. You're right. Not all of them have 9-to-5s. A lot of them own their own business. How about that? Some of them work the overnight shift. You are in deep shit. 19 felonies. Okay. And this is probably the worst part. I'm trying to get pregnant. Please don't. Please reconsider, Cristina. I don't think you're ready. I don't think that would be a good idea. Okay. And I can't imagine having 2 kids and my life being fucking Turtleboy groupies while writing blogs about who didn't pay child support this month. Yeah, but you loved it for fucking a decade, didn't you? You did. You loved that shit. Okay. Then she starts getting in my personal life. You had a wife and you have 2 children. Yeah, exactly. Like keyword past tense. Had. Yeah, I'm divorced. Who gives a fuck? A lot of people are divorced. Like half the fucking people who get married get divorced. Like it's a stain on you that you can't. Oh, you had a wife. Yeah, I didn't and didn't work out. So what the fuck do you want me to say? Like what? Oh, you're this bad person. Trust me, dear. If you ever get married, like the odds of you dying with the person that you're with right now are slim to none. Okay, Cristina. So there's that. And yes, women gain weight when they bear your children. What? You don't need to do this. You need to be a father and a husband. Well, I can't be a husband because that ship has sailed. So I can be a father and I still am. I'm just like, who is this person to lecture me about this shit? Yeah, literally half will like of marriages and divorce. Like this idea. And honestly, I just think it's not that natural. Like, I mean, for some people, nothing impresses me more than these old people that have been together forever and like they still love each other and shit. That's a sweet, amazing thing, right? I realized that was not going to be the way that I died. Like if I stuck with my marriage, like it wasn't going to end like that with me. Like this is not how, it's not that, right? And eventually you're like, well, I could, and a lot of people just stay together because it's easier, right? And it's like, and that's what I was doing for quite some time. Obviously, it caught up to me when I went to jail, and it kind of forced me to do what I should have done a long time ago. Because sometimes you just don't want to admit it. Sometimes you just don't want to do it because it's much easier to just stay together. It is much easier. Economically, it's easier. You know, schedule wise, it's easier. It's easier on everyone. You know, but it doesn't fix underlying problems. You know what I mean? So, and like there is a certain stigma that comes around with being divorced where you're like, you know, it's like you failed, you know, your marriage didn't, like you got married and it didn't work out. So like accepting that is big. Like nobody gets married and they're like, oh, I'm going to get divorced. Like nobody thinks that, you know, when you do that, you know, so that I think a lot of people, you know, like all of my friends, we all got married around the same time. The first one is divorced. Right. And I mean, maybe nobody else, everyone else will stay together. I don't fucking know. Right. But it is what it is, you know? So yeah. And so fuck you for judging, you know, it's nobody's business. It is what it is. And, all that matters to me really is that my kids are well taken care of. Right. And, that they're happy and loved. And that's all that matters to me. Period. So anyway, back to this. Okay. Sorry, you're not attracted to that. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck is wrong with you? What is wrong with you, dear? Last thing, and then I'll stop. You gave Kate shit for going on and on with her channel when she should have been taking care of your kids. Meanwhile, you let your marriage fall apart over Turtle. I mean, why the fuck do you care? I respect your wife very. What? You don't know what? Who cares? Stop ruining people's lives for money. You loved that shit for a decade. You loved it. I hit him. Let's look at all this with no response. Although I was doing the laughing emoji, so that's kind of a response. Okay. She just keeps going on and on. I've been to county jail for 6 months. We'll get to that. I go, why do you care about my relationships? I don't care who you're fucking. Because they keep getting you in trouble. So why do you care if I get in trouble? Like what? Okay, but you don't like me, so why does that bother you? And I somewhat care that doesn't happen. I do like you. You know, some people were saying in the comments that they think she's like in love or whatever. Like she never once hit on me, to be honest. She never should. If she was interested in that, she never once let it on. But it is fucking bizarre how much this person was interested in my personal life. Like, why the fuck does she care at all? I don't know you. Like I've talked to you on Facebook many times, but I never met you at all. So I don't get it. Anyway, I liked you when you weren't obsessed with the fame and money. Okay. So you think I'm on a PR team. Okay. Right. I think you think everyone is on your side, but the majority of people are not. I go, actually they are, but okay. All right. So then I noticed that she was posting shit about Karen Reed. So she made this comment about Karen. She said, she lies about having a drinking problem and killing her ex-boyfriend. Blacked out, courageous and brave. Okay. So she tweets that out. She also tweeted out something. She retweeted Wendy Murphy. All right, let's see what she retweeted from Wendy Murphy here. Do I have this? Yeah. So this is a tweet or something she retweeted from Wendy Murphy. It says, the Reed family raised a selfish, entitled alcoholic. They should have tried love and discipline. John O'Keefe would still be alive. I mean, obviously Wendy Murphy is a piece of shit, but alcoholic is the key word there. It's funny that Cristina Michetti would judge Karen Reed for being an alcoholic who drives drunk. Because Karen Reed is not an alcoholic. And she did drive drunk that night. A lot of people had. But unlike Cristina, she didn't hit anything. And she wasn't arrested for drinking and driving. She still hasn't been charged with drinking and driving. All right. But Cristina has. Twice. In 2017, she picked up her second OUI liquor offense and took a deal where she agreed to serve 2 years on probation. However, by August of 2018, she had already violated the terms of her probation, which was revealed when her own father testified that she had failed to remain alcohol-free. It says right here, you failed to comply with testing requirement. Specifically, you failed to remain alcohol-free per father testimony. So her own dad snitched on her and was like, my daughter's on probation. She's gotten 2 DUIs. As part of the agreement, she is not to drink alcohol, but she won't stop fucking drinking because she's a drunken fucking idiot. And I'm snitching on her. Her dad snitched on her. Okay. And then she failed it again when you failed to comply with the testing requirements. Specifically on 10/10, you tested positive for, I don't even know what that is, via scam with BTO of 0.27. So she had a 0.27 blood alcohol level, I think. So that's pretty high. Okay. So that means what she had taken a quaff on the previous DUI continue without a finding. And if you violate the terms of you're basically on probation for a year, don't get in trouble again, and follow the terms of your probation. And her probation was simple: stop drinking. You can't drink. You had one job. Can't do it. Her dad snitches on her, so she goes to jail. So she gets immediately sent 90 days in the House of Corrections. All right. And then she gets out. And in August of 2019, she goes to the Hootie and the Blowfish concert at the Xfinity Center and makes headlines. Woman arrested after allegedly hitting sign and traffic cones outside of the Xfinity Center in Mansfield. I go and get the police report. It says the car crashed through dozens of traffic cones, sending them flying in all directions as it appeared to accelerate and crossed over several travel lines. The SUV missed striking myself and other officers by about 20 feet. The SUV never slowed down and continued to travel north on Route 140 towards I-495. So she's out here judging Karen Reed for being a bad driver and a drunk. And look at her. At the station, so she actually passes sobriety tests. I asked Michetti, so she's gotten 2 DUIs. In fairness, it appears as if she was not drunk here. So she says, I asked Michetti if she had any alcohol tonight, and she stated no. I asked if she would be willing to perform field sobriety tests, and she said she would. As she was asked to exit the car and walk to the rear in a safe zone, 3 tests were completed. The 1 leg stand, and blah, blah, blah. No signs of impairment were observed. I was then informed that her driver's license was revoked for OUI. She was placed under arrest and transported to the Mansfield police station for booking. So she hit all those cones sober, I guess, because she passed the sobriety tests. But the problem is she didn't have a license. So she's not supposed to be driving at all. At the station, Michetti was booked in the normal fashion and allowed to make several phone calls to her father. She asked me to speak with her dad on the 4th call. He informed me that he has been dealing with her and her issues for years. He stated that he wasn't coming to bail her out. I asked if she would like to call anyone else, but she didn't have anyone else's phone number with her. She was placed in a female holding cell and was transported to the House of Corrections. So, this is the same woman making judgmental comments about Karen Reed and Bill Reed. Okay. Despite the fact that Bill Reed was there for her dad, but where the fuck was your dad, Cristina, when you needed him? Oh, that's right. He told you to go fuck yourself and rot in jail. That's what your dad did to you because he was so sick of your bullshit. Because you're such a pathetic, alcoholic piece of shit who runs cones over at a Hootie and the Blowfish concert for some reason. I don't even know they're still around. And yeah, that's what you do. And you have the audacity to judge Karen Reed and for her drinking and driving and her relationship with her father, which seems to be a million times better than your relationship with your dad. Because Bill Reed bailed his daughter out because he knows that she's innocent, unlike your dad, who told you to go fuck yourself and rot in jail because you're guilty as fuck and you deserved it and you needed that. He gave you that tough love, didn't he? So good for your dad for letting you rot because that's where you belonged. She's telling me I'm going to go to jail. Bitch, I'll be fine. I don't commit crimes. You do. So I wrote about this in June. She was not like the main topic of the article. It was a bit in there where I'm like, look at this hypocrite. That was it. I didn't do a deep dive, nothing. I'm like, look at this fucking hypocrite. Judging Karen for drinking and driving. Meanwhile, here's her DUIs. Simple, real simple like that. That's it. Real simple like that. Well, she ended up being sentenced to another 90 days in jail in September of 2019. And that's for the cone incident. So she went back to jail for that. When I published the stories, you could see, when I published this article, you could see her criminal cases on mass courts in both Wrentham and Attleboro. But now they have disappeared. So that means that she went and got them sealed, basically. So I didn't tell her I was writing about her. I'm not like announcing this to the world, but I'm going to write about you for these fucking comments you made. No, I just did it. And then she found out because she got a message from somebody. And then she freaked out. She's like, oh, like when you're a Turtleboy fan, a Turtle Rider over the years, there's nothing you worry about more than being featured in a Turtleboy article. Like I can't, Julie Albert herself said that it's her worst nightmare being featured in Turtleboy. And it's come true. And anybody who wants, and again, I don't do it because it's like, I'm not doing, like there's this misconception while you're using the blog as a weapon. I'm not. I'm just writing about you. If you act shitty, don't act shitty and you won't end up on the blog. Like that's it. You will not end up the subject of an article if you act appropriately. You have to really try to be featured on Turtleboy. And so all these people are like, oh, he's going to write about you. And no, I'm really not. There's the Isle of Misfit Pajama Raptors that does, like, yeah, Twisted Tragedies, go down the list. Krusty, Leah, they've all done something horrible. All of them. Like, you can't just end up here on accident. And there's this there's this thing, like, they think that's like, well, if you write about something, you're attacking them. No, bitch, I'm exercising my First Amendment rights. That's it. I have every right to call out shitty behavior, period. And if you get shit on because of that, that's not my problem. I don't have to censor my speech because some third-party person reads it and then acts on that. I'm not directing anyone to do that. I never have. And so you're not a victim because I wrote about you. That's not how this works. And so, like, for her, this is probably her worst nightmare come true. And it is. Because she's like freaking out about it, calling me. Please, I just got a new job. Please take it down. Please, please, please. All right. And she goes, I wish you would take the section about me in that article down, but I assume you won't. I won't reach out to you again, and I'll keep my mouth shut regarding you and your case. You have my silence going forward, my support of you, and my support of Karen Reed if that's what you want. If you want money, you can have that, whatever you need. See, at no point here am I saying you better shut up or else I'm going to write about you. No, she's making an offer to me. I will shut up. I will support you. I'll even give you money. Just take that shit down about me, please. That's it. So at no point, I'm not going to her being like, give me this or else. No, it's her making a fucking offer. I have a professional job, and the Hootie article already deters potential employers from hiring me. I know you don't like when Elizabeth Proctor reached out to people. Okay. Having an article citing my misdeeds is going to do the same to me. Please, please have compassion. I'm sorry. I could donate money. Please. Okay. I do apologize for my harsh words to you. I differ opinion greatly on Karen Reed, but I will take this as a lesson to butt out of other people's business. I cannot prove the picture exists about the coming on the face thing, the Gemma Cave's daughter thing. And I don't know why I cared in the first place. I also don't know why I care about your personal life. I should have taken your advice and just read the blogs. I'll stay out of this going forward. I need to get a new interest besides Karen Reed. It's just so interesting. Okay. Hopefully we can squelch any animosity. And I go, fine. Sure. I'll take that part down about you. She's begging. She's groveling. Whatever. Even though she said some heinous shit about me, about like, you're a rapist. I want you to go to jail. Like, here I am, Turtleboy the Merciful, being like, fine, whatever. I'm way too forgiving of people. I should have told her to fuck off and laughed at that. That's what I should have done. But no, here I am being merciful and, whatever. So I didn't take it down fast enough because I'm busy. I'm at the fucking, I think a court case was going on that day, the trial. I don't know, June 11th. My dad just came over. He's getting calls from everyone who we know about this. Can you please take it down? So her dad's like, like your daughter was featured on Turtleboy. That's embarrassing. Please, I'll do anything. It's embarrassing for my family too. Maybe you should stop. This is your pattern, Cristina. You do things that embarrass your family. Maybe just stop doing that. Can you have a heart? I'll do anything. My dad's almost in tears. You can talk to him. I go, but the last time you said you were sorry, you've said sorry many times before. You say something fucked up, then you message me and say sorry. Then you say something fucked up again, then you say sorry. Like, please, I'll do anything. I go, you accuse me of heinous shit. You're not, now you're just embarrassed. And you accuse me of domestic violence. I didn't accuse you of it. I went along with what someone else said. Same with the semen thing. I'll mind my own business. I don't want you to go to jail. No, it doesn't make it better. I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart. I don't know why I care. You go, yeah, now you're talking to Keith Peter? Gross. I get bored. I'll delete all my interactions with her. I'm not telling her to do any of this shit. She's offering. It's upsetting my dad. I have no interest in speaking to her. I'm disconnecting. I'm easily swayed. And I believed what I read. People have read it and they know what a shithead I am now. Can you please delete that part? I'm going to delete my Twitter and never touch it again. I was being a total hypocrite. You're right. Okay. Like just begging and offering to take shit down. And I go, okay. I'll think about it. I'm being no better than Kate Peter by talking badly about someone who may or may not have hurt someone under the influence. Yeah, absolutely right. Not may or may not. May not. I wasn't wearing my glasses. I was unfamiliar with the areas, but I have 2 OUIs. I go, Karen didn't hurt anyone. I swear to God, I'll completely go away. You'll never hear a word out of my mouth again. I won't speak badly of you or anyone associated with Karen Reed again. Maybe she didn't hit him. And if that's the case, then I was completely wrong. Honestly, again, at no point do you see me saying, you better say this shit or else. Like she's offering all this shit. And I'm just like, fine. I'm not for sale. You can't pay me to take it down. I go, I'll think about it. I'm busy right now. Someone just called my job. Did they really? I love my job. I go, if I hear another word from you publicly about this, I'm putting it back in. It's done. Thank you, truly. So here I am. This is pathetic, watching her beg. I didn't ask her, to do any of this. And I'm just like, fine. I took that part out, but I saved the draft. Okay. In case any shenanigans happen in the future. I go, but if I hear another word from you publicly about this, I'm putting it back in. I don't want to hear you talking shit about me because I'm doing you a favor here, Cristina. I don't have to do this. I'm doing this because I'm taking you at your word that you're actually sorry. Okay? So if I see any behavior moving forward that suggests that you were lying to me, that you're not actually sorry, that you actually are a piece of shit, then it goes right back up. Okay? That's it. So that was the deal. And she says, and again, the deal was not proposed by me. It was proposed by her. These were her terms. I swear on my deceased mother, I will never do it again. Well, you did it again. You did it again. So you swore on your dead mother that you would never do this again. And then you did it again. You're that much of a piece of shit, Cristina. You might not be the raging alcoholic you were a couple years ago, although once an alcoholic, whatever. Okay. You might not be that person, but you're still a piece of shit in different ways. I don't know if you know that. Okay. All right. So then I see her the other night on Krusty's channel, chumming it up with Krusty. Buddy. And loving this whole, I think it was when Sean McDonough was on. Or maybe not that thing, maybe another thing. Shitting on Karen Reed, the usual. And I'm like, this is exactly what you promised you weren't going to do again. Again, I didn't ask you to promise that. You volunteered to do that. And so you promised on your dead mother you weren't going to do this again. And then you did it. And so I go, I changed my mind. I'm putting it back up. What did I do? You know what you did. I'm listening to Kate. You're doing a little bit more than listening, dear. I gave you a chance. I haven't said one word about you. I go, you made your choice. Stupid me, feeling bad for you. Do you want me to delete my social media? I go, nah, you can call me if you want, but, you know, if not, it's going back up. I don't mind talking. I genuinely feel as though I did whatever I asked, butting out. I said hi in the chat. You did a little bit more than that. And either way, chumming it up with like these dregs of society after all they've said, the horrible things they've said and done to me, fuck you. Like if you want to associate Cristina, you could have just laid back and watch it, taken in all this content. When you actively participate in it, and you're like Sean's the same way. He's no different. He's just as bad as you, right? Like that is associating with this person and normalizing her makes you a shitty fucking person. She abused children, Cristina. You know that. That's disgusting. You support child abuse, Cristina, and you have the nerve to talk about my parenting. Well, you support a documented child abuser, and you're hanging around with people who lie about rape, who lie about domestic violence. Fuck you. You're a person. Now she's crying to me today. She's messaging me. Do you think I should lose my job about this? Honestly, if I were your employer, I'd fire you. Yeah, like if I were your employer, I'd want to know. I'd want to know who I hired because I don't know what she does for work. I don't care. I'm not going to contact your boss, but I kind of hope he reads it. He or she reads it because they have a right to know if they're running a business in a company. They have a right to know that one of their employees is a piece of shit. Because you are, Cristina. You're a piece of shit. You're a horrible person. And you're mentally unstable. And you are okay with child abuse. You're okay with that. Child abuse to you is not a deal killer. All right? You protect cop killers. You say heinous shit about other people's children. Like you're a really bad person, right? And if I were an employer, I'd want to know about that. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to contact them or I'm not encouraging anyone else to do that. But you asked me and I'm telling you, do I think that you should lose your job? I think that's up to your employer. But I wouldn't hire you, and I would fire if I hired you because you seem normal. And then I read this, I would definitely fire you. 1000%. Okay. And again, like I said, I'm not saying I don't want anyone to call, but I'm saying if I were her employer, I would fire her. That's what I would do. I would fire her. Just saying. All right. So she goes on. If I decide to put it up again, okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I go, if I see, and this is the part she has since posted on Twitter. So she went and posted this on Twitter, and this is why I'm responding. The guy, I had no intention of writing about this person, but she wants to put screenshots up in an attempt to make me look bad. Well, I'm going to share the whole fucking story because that's what I do, Cristina. I'm a truth teller. I tell the whole story. I don't tell a bit and piece. I don't take a out of context screenshot designed to make me look bad and do nothing with it. That's what I do. You forced me to do this. You want to fuck around, and now you're finding out. And I know that all your new friends, because by the way, this is what's really pathetic about this, Cristina, is now these are your friends. You're stuck with them. Like you made a choice that you are stuck with the dregs of society, and they're gonna say, "Oh, Turtleboy's going down now." But you've been following me, Cristina, for years. You know, I'm not going down. I'm not like I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to be found guilty. I'm going to come out of this a much wealthier person than I was going into it. And it's got nothing to do with scamming. It's because I'm fucking killing it. because I'm like exposing corruption that's never been exposed before. And people love that shit. And I've earned every dollar I've made. And you jumped off the winning train and you jumped on team retard. And yeah, they're going to tell you, because I've seen them in the comments now. They're like, oh, support our friend Cristina. That's all you got. You got that, right? Those random people on Twitter, they're not going to be there when your boss calls you into the office and is like, explain this. They're not going to be there when that happens. You did this. You did this. And you've seen other people do this too. And you've seen what happens to them. And you still did it. You still did it. I tried to save you from yourself. I took the part down about you. Okay. Even though you sucked, you were horrible. I just felt bad for you. And I still tried to protect you. And what did you do? What did you do with that mercy that I granted you? You fucked around. And now you found out. You found out. I didn't want to do this. You did this, Cristina. You did this. And now this time it ain't coming down. Don't bother next week messaging me and saying, I'm so sorry. Because you know I ain't going to do shit now. I'm literally going to laugh at you. This one stays up forever. This is a 3 strikes and you're out thing. It's like 100 strikes and you're out. You're like whenever people Google you now, this is going to come up. And Michael Gaffney and the fucking 10 other piles of retards that are, protecting you on Twitter, they can't save you. They can't. You did this. Remember, you did this. You've made a lot of poor life decisions. This is the dumbest life decision you've ever made. Like your dad tried to save you from yourself for years. He didn't bail you out of jail because he had to let you fucking hit rock bottom. And now I have to do it too. I'm your daddy now. Okay? Dad's getting old. I got to be your daddy here. And you need this. You need to have this article follow you around because you're a piece of shit and you haven't fixed yourself yet. Okay. You might not be the raging alcoholic that you were a while ago, but whenever people Google Cristina Michetti now, this is going to come up. You think the Hootie and the Blowfish article in the Attleboro Sun Chronicle is bad? Huh. Huh. Yeah. Why would you start a fight with me? Why? Like, what are you thinking? You've been following me for years. Did you think I'm just kind of like a pussy and like Aidan's? Because I am kind of a pussy. I'm kind of a pushover, right? And I take shit down and I feel bad for people. And you kind of took advantage of that, of my mercy, of Turtleboy the Merciful. But eventually, Daddy's had enough. And you're going back up there, dear. You're going back up, period. Okay? So she's like, putting out the original form would be libelous. Okay. I'll shut up. I don't want to deal with this. Do you still need me to call you? And she's like, I appreciate your kindness for taking it down. Okay. But then the next day, I go, hey, just don't comment on shit and I won't put it back up. Okay. Then she goes, the blackmail is being addressed. I don't know where you come off with 19 felonies begging for more, but feel free to put any blog you want back up. You don't scare me. Except I kind of do, Cristina, because you messaged me the next day and you're like, please don't put it up. Like she's all big and tough until it actually fucking happens. And why does she feel this way? Well, she went to Twisted Tragedies, this pajama raptor. Okay. And Twisted Tragedies gave her legal advice and said this is blackmail because Twisted Tragedies started posting about it. He's blackmailing her. It's not blackmail, dear. Blackmail has a definition. Okay. I go, no one's blackmailing you. And she goes, quote, if you don't do what I say, I'll do this. And it's just listening to whoever I want to listen to, not egregious. I go, you're right. And that was my problem was I shouldn't have told her. I shouldn't have said like earlier. I said like, what did I say that she highlighted? I forget what I said, but I should just put it back up. Here I am being merciful, right? I should have just no more Turtleboy. You're right, Cristina. Turtleboy the Merciful is over. Now it's just going to be Turtleboy the Vengeful. That's what it's going to be from now on. Because you taught me my lesson here. When I gave you the chance to stop being a piece of shit, you called it blackmail. So now I'm just not going to give you, moving forward, no one's getting any chances, and it's all your fault. Turtleboy the Merciful is dead. Turtleboy the Vengeful is here to stay, and you did this. I gave you a chance, and then you went to Twisted Tragedies for advice, and that was fucking retarded because she's homeless. I don't know if you know this. She's fucking homeless. Not like, oh, yeah, like actually without a home. She lives in a van down by the river. She's got multiple kids that she can't keep custody of. She hasn't had a job since she stopped fucking stripping, and she can't afford, all of her government subsidy fucking cash that she gets goes to cigarettes, and you trusted her for legal advice. God, you talk about me. Oh, I've changed. Look at you, dear. You used to like read my shit and like it, right? Because you should, because it's good shit, and it's exposing corruption and blah blah blah. I haven't changed. You've changed. You've changed. So she goes to her, and I go, I shouldn't have given you a chance. I should have just put it back up. Lesson learned. I did everything you asked me. I didn't ask you to do anything. Do whatever you want. Okay? Congrats on being a full-fledged ratchet. Okay? That's a stretch. I didn't like being secretly, okay. Okay, so I go nighty-night. Okay. And then she just goes on and on. You threaten me with a blog. I'm like, I can't threaten you with the blog. I was just going to put a blog back up. Like, I can't, guys, you understand, like these blogs, articles, whatever you want to call them, they're not actual weapons. I can't hit you with them. They're just words on the internet. That's it. If you don't like the fact that you have a tough time keeping a job after one comes out, that's not my problem. But it's not the same as a knife. It's not quite the same. All right. Anyway, then this dipshit comes along. Sean on the Gulf, Boomer on the Gulf. He's like, I was talking to oh my God. Can we just read this fucking tweet for a second? You just got to read this tweet. This is the most Sean on the Gulf tweet I've ever seen. I was talking to my old partner last night about an incident we encountered during an OP on the border with Peru, Colombia, and Brazil. Were you, Sean? Was it Eddie Richards? You know, I know you said you did a lot of work in the Peruvian jungle, but did you? Did you actually? Sean, in case you haven't figured out, Sean is the male version of Jennifer Covendafer. Like, she's remember, Jennifer Covendafer worked for the FBI, and Sean worked for the DEA. We were hiding just off the shores where the Amazon and El Stretcho rivers meet. So that night, while waiting to take out this target, my partner told me two things. You never hear the bullet that kills you, and if you're shot, hope for a bullet that hits your bones. Then you will know when it's time to call for the medic. Okay, Jeff, why are you bringing this up after 25 years? He responds, apparently your little buddy doesn't understand that. So he talked to his buddy from the Amazon. And the Amazon guy, the partner from the Amazon tells him, you never hear the bullet that kills you. Your buddy doesn't understand this. So he's talking about me. I don't understand that. Okay. So says his buddy from the Amazon. One last comment. I don't know who this person is, Cristina. I don't know what crime she did against the emperor or even when this occurred. However, I've seen this play out many times. Look real close at his words. This is what happens when you don't obey. LTL knows. He won't tell you. Yeah, he's saying that I threatened Brian LTL. Completely untrue. Why would I ever do that? Big mistake. Big mistake, LTL. Crying to a guy like me. And I actually sympathize with him. And yes, I have the receipts. Right, Brian? Can we see him, Sean? Can we see Brian LTL crying to you? Okay. Then there is Mr. Chuckles. Oh, he definitely knows, but he's much smarter. That's Will, the glare. So he's shitting on Will now. Although saying Matty Matt was the killer. Well, Will, almost as bad as the Emperor saying poor Sandra was not murdered. I kind of like Mr. Chuckles, though. He just doesn't know enough yet. But breathe, Will, breathe. Keep obeying. Here is the killer. You won't see them or anyone else defend this woman. Not one. Yeah, why the fuck? Yes, you're right, Sean. Absolutely no one will be defending Cristina Michetti because she's a piece of shit. And you believe anything you hear. This is how I know you were a shitty cop, Sean, if you actually were anything that you claimed to be. If you actually were. The only evidence I have you work for the DEA is an article about your DUI when you work for the DEA. I have that, but I don't know about the Peruvian jungle shit. And the fact that you are so biased and you believe that I am everything these people claim to be and that this woman is guilty based off of 2 screenshots, selectively cropped screenshots that she put out, shows me that you're pretty bad at your job. Okay. I wish I had a merch store. Don't you though? I see a lot of Law and Order sweatshirts. I'm calling on everyone, but most importantly to my colleagues who refuse to obey. Support this woman. Denounce this BS right here and right now. And to Cristina, DM me. Tell me your story. I'll get it to Crazy Sean. He needs another crazy rant. So this person has lost his fucking mind. He's lost. And so he jumps on this and shares it. So this is why I have to address it now, because this shit's, being posted in places. So back to the article. Okay. All right. So she spent all day on Thursday posting about me, like all day. And I ignored her. And then I liked a couple of her posts because she said I was going back to jail. Then she goes, be careful about liking my posts. You shut up today. Wise. That's a threat. Like, I'm threatening. She's like, say you shut up today. That was wise. If you talk, I'm taking you down. You're going to jail. If you talk about me, you're going to jail. Because this is what happens when you get legal advice from Twisted Tragedies and Krusty Panties. I'm not saying a word like you. It looks like you're saying a lot, but you're entitled to your opinion. You can say whatever you want. I've had a lot to say, but I was afraid you'd post about me. You don't have to be afraid. I will post about you, but you don't need to be afraid. You've done it. You've overcome your fear. Congratulations. You're on Turtleboy forever. Let's see how that plays out, but we'll see. I'm glad you're afraid. Unfortunately, I told the authorities, be careful. Those Silverados are coming for you tomorrow morning. So I'm going to jail. Now, this is witness intimidation. She's trying to cause me emotional harm, knowing I'm a witness in a case. But whatever. I used to like you. I think you have this weird outlook that you're famous. I mean, I'm kind of famous. I'm not like the most famous. I'm not Dave Portnoy. You think you're Kirk. I'm definitely on Kirk's level at this point, I think. I mean, we have a similar number of Twitter followers. I'm pretty well known. Actually, I think when I go on YouTube, I get a bigger audience, although he's obviously Barstool Sports, which is one of the bigger platforms in the world. So no, I'm not Dave Portnoy, but I do think I'm Kirk Minahan a little bit, or at least close to it. So give me that. Okay. Give me that. And then says, but even so, you aren't famous. Kirk did tell you were wrong about Birchmore. And enough with the run. Like, I believed what was put out by police. They said that she killed herself. And I said that even if she did, they drove her to the point of suicide. So they're still bad. Police, I didn't defend them. I said, it looks like they drove her to the point of suicide. Because I didn't think cops were this evil, but they are. I didn't think the cops would cover it up. That's the bigger thing. I'm like, they wouldn't cover this up, would they? No, they would. Karen Reed's eyes opened me to that. And yes, she's 100% blackmailing me here. That's what she's doing. She's like, you better not talk or else you're going to jail if you talk. I don't know Dave Portnoy. I mean, he's kind of famous. I'll be honest. He's more famous than me, Dave Portnoy. He's a big name. And I admire Dave. I mean, of course, when you're in my line of work, right? How can you not admire Dave Portnoy? You look up to him. That doesn't mean I'm going to be him. That doesn't mean I want to be him, right? I don't think I want to do different things. He's into sports and 20-year-old chicks, right? I'm more into corruption and whatever. I have my own little brand here. I do my own thing. You know, it is what it is. And like the Barstool people, they all follow me. Like I've had messages with many of them about this. Big Cat, who else? Rear Admiral, a few others, right? They all follow this shit. All of them do. How could Jerry Thornton obviously follows it immensely? He's done great coverage there doing that. But anyway, it goes on by saying, these guys want nothing to do with you. Yeah, but they do. That's the thing. And I am kind of famous, and you could say I'm not, but I kind of am. Like when I go out, like ask Meredith, people fucking always taking pictures. I swear it doesn't go to my head. I'm not cocky. I'm a little bit cocky, but not that cocky. Like I still keep it real. I'm still humble. When people introduce themselves to me, I ask for your name. I shake your hand. I will take a picture with anybody who wants to take a picture of me. Period. So I'm not like, I don't think I'm better than anyone else. Period. I'm going to be very clear about that. But I am kind of famous. You know, these guys want nothing to do with you. I mean, Kirk was on my show not that long ago. That's your legacy. Some random woman in Australia knows you. It's a bunch of women in Australia, actually. Okay. Sean just gave me his number. I can't wait to tell him all about you. If you apologize to the O'Keefe family, I won't. That's blackmail. That's blackmail, Cristina. You're telling me. And again, this is another reason why if I were your employer, I'd fire you because you commit blackmail. You're a criminal in many ways. You're unstable. So you're telling me apologize to the O'Keefe family or else I will do things that harm you. Okay. I can't wait to hear all about every message Karen sent Sean. So Sean is now offering this woman that he's going to send all of his messages with Karen to her. And she doesn't like Karen. So this is the kind of piece of shit Sean McDonough is. But, you know, so, and by the way, enough about the whole, he's just having a bad day. His brother died. Fuck that. My mom died. You don't see me doing this. Fuck that shit. He's a grown ass 60-something-year-old fucking man using his platform to try to harm Karen Reed and me. Fuck him. You don't get to hide behind your dead brother when you do that. Fuck that shit. Anyway, I go, you could talk to Sean McDonough. I'm happy he reached out. He's sending me screenshots from Karen, all of them. And I definitely won't tell Kate or the police. So she's going to immediately use these to harm Karen Reed. Okay. I'm sharing them all. Sucks to be mean to someone who bought your stupid merch. And so I'm like, so Sean McDonough is reaching out to you and offering to show you all his private signal messages. And then she sends me a message that Sean sent her saying, wow, did you come at the right time for me? For me. Not for Karen Reed. For me. You came at the right time. You have a vendetta with Aidan. You came at the right time for me because I don't really give a fuck about Karen Reed. All I care about is hurting Turtleboy. You are a very brave woman. Wherever you want, whenever you want to talk. Right. Aidan, if you had been the Aidan you were before that I liked, I wouldn't do this to you. Because you're not doing what I want, I'm hurting you. Okay. But you can't fuck with the families of someone who's deceased. Okay. Okay. You had no right to say blah, blah, blah. Okay. You're a blogger. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Okay. Yeah, right. Blogging about bad moms. Where were you on Christmas, Aidan? Right. Okay. You got arrested at your Guma's house. Oh, right. Okay. I mean, it just goes on. I lost my mom. You just lost your mom. Don't talk about my mom, please. Thank you. Just don't talk about my son. Don't talk about my mom. You know, stop. Keep it real. You just lost your mother. I have no idea why you promote this. Stop yelling at them, please. I don't yell at them, stupid. I don't. Bradel also told you he thinks Karen's guilty. That never happened. Your source for that is the fake victim. Bradel never told me that. Richie was there. 3 against 1. That never fucking happened. Ever. Okay. I mean, seriously. All right. Okay. Good night. And then why did you show zero remorse over your mother? And seriously, Christina, fuck you. Do not talk about my mother, you fucking worthless pile of shit. That's what you are. You're a fucking alcoholic, raging douchebag who can't keep her fucking mouth shut, right? Don't talk about my fucking mother. I'm not talking about your dead mother, am I? No, I'm talking about you and your shitty behavior. Don't talk about my son. Don't talk about the fucking imaginary kids you're trying to conceive and can't. Don't fucking talk about them. Don't talk about yourself. That's it. Fucking maggot piece of shit. I can't believe I was nice to this person. Sucks to be sad about my mother's death, not begging for donos the next day. Okay. Good luck tomorrow, Aidan. Tries to scare me. You're going to, Silverados are coming. And by the way, they never came. You were lied to. If that's what your friend Twisted Tragedies told you was going to happen to me, it never did. It never did. Sean exposed you. I don't think that's the way most people took it, dear. Aidan, just know if you make any video of me, it's immediately going to the cops. And I'm not sure if you can withstand another charge, but at the same time, go for it. Can't wait to see you withstand another charge. So again, she's threatening me there, saying, if you talk about me on your show, I'm going to the cops and you're going to jail. I'm going to hurt you. That's also known as blackmail. Blackmail. She is blackmailing me. But let me be clear, Christina. I've spent like an hour and a half talking about you. I wrote a whole article on you. I did exactly what you threatened me not to do. What the fuck you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do? Because I did exactly what you tried to intimidate me from doing. Intimidate me from doing. I did exactly the opposite of what you said I couldn't do. Exactly it. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. You're just going to live with this fucking stain on you for the rest of your miserable fucking existence because you suck. You know? Used to like you. Okay. You know, what will the charge be? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Okay. She calls me, yeah. And then she goes, can we please let this be? I don't want to go to the police. So she's still in, like, she really doesn't want this article to be written. And this is her last desperate attempt, being like, I'm going to go to the police. I really am. You can't scare me, Christina. You should know that. You've been following me for a while. You know how you could have prevented this article from being written, Christina? Just shut the fuck up. That's it. Leave me alone. Don't send me threatening shit. Shut the fuck up for once. Just shut up. Period. Okay. You need control. Talks about Phelps and Sean and blah, blah. Okay. So again, he's written 50 books. Anyway, that's it. That's it. So that was a long one. Go read that article if you haven't already. It's fucking nuts. It's absolutely fucking nuts. All right. Let me just read some turtle chats here before we call it a night. If we have any. Christina's yellow teeth sends $10 and goes, I cannot believe Elisa Twisted Tragedies is only 38. I'm 47 and look younger than her. I know. Meth will do that to you. Thank you. Elisa Bennett's broken fridge. Elisa Bennett's broken fridge sends $10 and says, free the closet baby. So much for not saying that. Thank you very much. Becky sends $25 and goes, keep up the great work, Turtleboy. Love from Wisconsin. Happy 249th Marine Corps. Cheeseheads. Love it. Thank you. You guys got a bye week this week. Enjoy it. All right. Okay. Do we have any more cash apps? I don't think we do. All right, cool. All right. Anyone else got anything to say here? It's been a long show. Please tell us you blocked her. I invited her onto the show tonight. She declined. So I didn't block. I will block her probably now because I don't want to hear from her anymore. But I think she knows now that it's like there's no more messaging won't do her any good at this point. So I think I had to do what her dad did in 2019 and let her rot in jail. That's what I mean. You gotta let her hit rock bottom. All right. You gonna talk about your interview with Hank? I posted it. On Twitter. Please look at Sean's last tweet. Oh, is it stupid? Is it more bullshit? Okay, hold on. All right, sure. I mean, what is it? Such a sad ending. Oh, look, another riddle. Okay, shocking. That's what I'm supposed to look at. What am I supposed to take from that? What does that mean? I don't get it. It's a project I'll be teeing up soon. Okay. No drama, no trolls. Okay. Good luck with your project, Sean. Go do your project. Good job. Okay. The bodyguard. He thinks he's Karen's bodyguard. I don't fucking know. I have never been with the crazy chick. Oh, wait. They've all been crazy. Yeah. No offense. I mean, there's many women out there who are not crazy. No, it will be left up. Don't worry. That's not going down. I don't know what I'm supposed to take from that tweet. It's in the jungles of Peru, right? All right, guys. Well, I guess that is that. It's been a long show, but there's still 4,800 of you here. It's been a good one. And thank you guys for supporting me and all the donos and the love and the support and all that shit. All the shit that she hates about me. I love that you guys do that shit. I don't think you're a bunch of middle-aged women, with unemployed, whatever. I think you're fantastic people, and I appreciate the support. And we'll see you guys all for the next episode of the live show on Tuesday. Go Patriots tomorrow. Nothing to lose. Fuck around. Let's go. Drake May. Lose, but lose close. That's all I want. All right. Peace, Turtle Riders.